Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Decoria White. Hello, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming to see me today. This Sunday, where I'm at. I'm Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. So it's 6 p.m. Anyone else in the continental U.S. or anywhere else in the world, whether you are in South America or in Latin America, whether you are in Europe, I think it's a little bit too late in Europe right now. It's midnight, perhaps. But welcome. Not only the ones who are watching right now, but also those who will watch in the future. As you know, this video stay here permanently. You can always go back and watch them. I always use the timestamps for those who are unable to watch the whole video but want to watch it. So we'll have the timestamps tomorrow, probably, or later tonight. So that way you can always go back and look at watch the different segments, because we have a lot to talk about. So before we get into everything, I want to invite you to please leave a like, leave a comment, whatever we talk about today. Let me know how you feel about the things that we covered today. Also follow me in social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. The links are in the description. Consider supporting the channel financially through Patreon. Anything that you can do to help, or even through the super chat here in the video, that helps me to continue this channel, to keep building the channel. And we've been doing this for almost, I would say now, 11 years. So it's been a long time. Still, the channel's still small, but we're still working on it, and I enjoy doing this very, very much. In any case, let me lower the music a little bit. I think it's a little bit too loud. But yes, hey Joanna, man, how are you? Thank you very much. Now, tonight we have a very, very, I wouldn't say a heavy night. Of course, we're celebrating the Star Wars this weekend. It's May the 4th, just happened yesterday. To all my Star Wars fellow fans, I want to say, happy 4th, happy May the 4th, happy Star Wars weekend day or whatever. Also, it's Cinco de Mayo today, so all my Mexican friends, so everybody in the U.S. that likes to go out and celebrate by eating Mexican food, so, congratulations too. I hope you're having a fantastic. I got some for lunch. I got tacos, so I'm feeling Mexican today, which I am, but I'm feeling very festive. We have a good night. We're gonna cover action figures today. We're gonna cover statues, of course, every release that happened this week, every major release, everything that really caught my attention. We're gonna cover Marvel Legends. I want to talk about McFarlane toys. I want to talk about Play Our Sky on the action figure side. We're gonna talk about Flame toys. I want to talk about Robosen for those who are fans of the Transformers. We're gonna look about Hot Toys, of course. Being Star Wars, that's the bread and butter in some way. They released a lot of figures this weekend, so we're gonna look at that. Very amazing looking figures for sure. On the statue side, we're going to look at Spiral Studio. You're a Godzilla fan, you are into Godzilla figures. We're going to talk about Mondo. We're going to look at Iron Studios. They have a Deadpool and Wolverine diorama 110. Looking really cool. Really looking forward to the film. We're going to look at First for Figures. They have a release this week if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Pure Arts also released a very nice League of Legends diorama. Looks really good. We're gonna look at it today. We're gonna talk about Lladró. Lladró, this company, a Spanish company, released a Batman porcelain statue. Created some backlash, some criticism online. We're gonna look at it today. We're gonna look at Beast Kingdom. They released a Batman, 1989 Batman. We're gonna look at it today. Of course, Sideshow released the Mace Windu, premium format. We're gonna look at Piji Studio. Blitzway with a Scarface quarter scale statue. We're gonna look at Tweeterhead with the Doomsday bus, and there was also releases or some showcases through the Batman Statue Collector channel. They have some reveals there for upcoming 1/3 scale bus. We're gonna look at them today. Finally we're gonna look at JND Studios, the 1978 Superman 1/3 statue that was released this weekend and it was sold out. We're gonna look at it today. So I want to say to all of you, welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time, everyone that is watching now and those who will watch in the future. Before I get into the whole thing, I want to address something. Before we get into the action figures, I want to address the chat that I had yesterday with the new owner of Oniri Creations. Not sure if some of you watched that show. If you didn't, you can watch it. It's of course here on the channel. It was like a little over an hour, not that long of an interview we try to cover as much as we can. Of course, sometimes the time is limited, and it definitely kind of, I don't know Raphael personally. He reached out to me, so it was my first time really talking to him. I wish him luck. I think definitely there was a lot of answered questions. There was also some unanswered questions there that we didn't, I know in the aftermath, some people came and left some questions about certain products that were not talked about there, or they were not showcased on the, because you got a chart of the releases that they're planning to do. And also people are still upset because, there's stuff out there, that people order going to 4 years ago and they haven't received. So it's a messy situation. I know some people get upset, and some people voice their opinion, not only at Raphael, but also at me. And I gotta be honest with you, I feel for everyone that has been through this mess with Oniri. Thankfully, I did not invest any money on Oniri to really feel the pain on my end. So, but I totally relate with people when they invest into something and things are not revealed, and all of a sudden the company files bankruptcy. Now, keep in mind that this Raphael is a new investor, a new owner. There are a couple of things there that I wasn't completely sure about, and I asked him the question about the involvement of the previous owner in the company. He says that they will still be involved. And I had the impression in the call conversation with him, and I try to be respectful, of course, because I'm not there to fight battles. Keep in mind that when I'm interviewing somebody that actually reached out to me for an interview, I'm not there to try to pick a fight. Somebody saying that I should be a bit more defensive, or try to defend other people, and that is not my job. I don't take sides. I'm not there to point fingers at people, particularly somebody that comes to me, someone that humbles himself to come to the community, in this case to me, to kind of answer some questions. And I try to ask questions. The chat was open. I never hide anything. Every person that had a question, they receive an answer. Some people weren't there to ask those questions that were tough, unfortunately, and they missed the opportunity to ask directly. But I advise anyone to reach out to Raphael, reach out to this new company. He mentioned in that video that the company is going into this. Oniri, as we know it, is no longer the way it's supposed to be. Technically, it's completely dead now, and that is just the law of the bankruptcy. That company is completely out the window. That name cannot be taken. They're going to transform into a new company. First thing they're going to do, they want to concentrate on fulfilling all the orders that were given or that were done. There's still an involvement with the owners, previous owners in the company. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It depends. Only time can tell. I will tell you that I have the impression that Raphael knows more than what he says, in the sense that I feel that he seems too familiar with the situation prior to him. So I'm not sure if he was already a partner of them and we just came to find out. These LLCs don't really tell you who's the owner or not. We knew that the two owners were there, the previous two owners. So they will still be involved. So I know a lot of people are still upset about the whole thing of the money. I don't work for them. I don't know them personally. So I wish them luck. My hope is that they sort it out. One thing I can take away from me is the fact that they are working things out, or they're trying to work things out for the customer, for the collector. So my hope is that they resolve every issue, that every person gets their products that they pre-order and they order. You saw the chart. It may take a while because some of the stuff that we're talking about, that it's not all the way to 2025. So you're looking at a 2-year period where they're going to try to fulfill everything that was promised, everything that people order. So it's still going to be a long wait. I would say people to be patient, and at the same time to be kind. The only way that you can get some things resolved with some people is by just being kind. If you're too abrasive with some people, they will be abrasive back. But try to be polite. And if you feel that things are getting out of the way, I would say, I'm not representing anyone, because some people say, well, you should represent us. I am not an attorney. I know bankruptcy laws because I did that for a living. I know how messy they are, but once everything is final by the judge, there's nothing people can do. It is done. You cannot go after them in any legal way. So might as well just work with them. If they're working with you, just give them the chance. If you order to a different party, to a different retailer, go through your party if you want your money back. That's all I can say. I wish you luck, all of you, all the collectors that are really seeking to get their money back. I really wish you the best. But also I wish the best to them, to this new company or whatever it's going to be here with Oniri. I hope that they can succeed and at least they can rise from above and get things done, resolve. It gets messy when situations like this happen. We have seen so many companies go. Some companies have closed their doors. Nothing is fulfilled. That is just sad. Some companies just simply, things disappear, the projects disappear. There's a lot of things that were in the back burner, things that were presented, people were pre-ordering things didn't work out. A lot of companies have gone out the window like that, and people never got the stuff that they, originally was presented. So hopefully this is not the case. So, my prayers are that this works out for every party involved, not only from their side as a company, but also from the side of the community, the customers, the collectors who have invested money into trying to get these products. So we'll see what happens. So that's just what I wanted to say. I just wanted to share that just from the bottom of my heart. I wish them luck, but I also wish you all luck. And hopefully this gets resolved. But like I said to someone, only time can tell if Raphael is telling the truth. If he's telling the truth or lying, that's up to him. I'm not there to judge that situation. All I was there just to ask the questions. And some of those questions, trying to decipher clearly what is it that they're trying to do based on the information that they have provided us. Technically, just give us an expansion of the things that they put on that official statement that they released through social media. All right, my friends, let's move on from the sad part of things. I just have to say it. But I want to get into the stuff that we're going to cover today. So I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for sticking with me. Okay, so I'm presenting my chart here of what we're doing. But everyone, thank you very much for being here. All right, let's go. Let me try to get this done here. Okay. All right, so first and foremost, let me go to First for Figures. Let me go to Big Bad Toy Store. The reason why I'm coming here, I love Big Bad Toy Store. It's funny because every day I check Big Bad Toy Store. I always check the website because every day they change the stuff around and there's always something kind of cool looking. Call me a geek, call me a child at heart. I love toys. And this is what I want to talk about. Ghost Rider, Marvel Legends, Ghost Rider. Not everybody is a Marvel Legends fan. I love Marvel Legends. I have no issue with it. But they have, of course, this new things that were released here. As you can see, I want to cover... There's two things that were released recently. And I want to look at this one first. You see the New Avengers, Marvel Legends, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage 2-pack. You can also get this at you can go to the Hasbro polls, so the Hasbro website, and you can order directly from them, or you can come to Big Bad Toy Store. I trust Big Bad Toy. Always been good to me in that sense. Here you have this 2-pack with Iron Fist and Luke Cage. I love that they went with the classic Iron Fist look as an action figure. It looked great, even the portrait. Luke Cage, I would have loved for them to go with the classic Luke Cage instead of the more modern version of it with the New Avengers version. That is the only complaint that I may have with this 2-pack. Yes, Iron Fist has looked like this before. It has kept, for the most part, the same look, but they're going for the most classic look. Still, if you're a Marvel Legends fan, I think the best part of this set to me is Luke Cage more than Iron Fist is the best part more than the Luke Cage. Although that is actually a nice figure of Luke Cage, the more modern version of him. It doesn't look bad at all. So this is the set, and of course this is now we're celebrating the 85th anniversary of Marvel. This stuff, we getting all these 2 packs, $50. I think it's a fair price for what they have. You can see the art in the back one, pretty cool. I like that art there. So you can order here, $50.99, of course, and there's the $4 shipping price that you normally pay there. Now, the one that really caught my attention was this Ghost Rider. Danny Ketch, of course, if you're into the 90s Ghost Rider, of course, you can go for the Johnny Blaze, which we talked about recently, about Johnny Blaze, the one that was done by Mesco. Really cool. If you're like into the more classic thing, they also have the Danny Ketch version. But this is the way I see Danny Ketch. This is the way I see it with that motorcycle that is more in the 90s vein. It's not just a repaint of a motorcycle. And it looks pretty cool. Even the plastic thing that they added there just for, to add it on display, that kind of is gimmicky. But it's within the same idea of the action figures. I would love for a company to produce, we have seen different variations of, in this case, of the Ghost Rider in statue form, fantastic statues. But I would love for them to do actually the Danny Ketch motorcycle. Like finally somebody actually say, let's do the 90s version. That would be awesome. I think this is probably my favorite thing of what they released this week or what I've seen this week. It looks really cool. Oh, you look at this one, he's rolling like that. Akira style for sure. But it's pretty, you know, it's a toy. Some people say, well, why are you talking about toys like this? I love these toys. You know, I'm a geek at heart. I'm a kid at heart. I love Marvel Legends. There's plenty of collectors out there that love Marvel Legends. It's a fantastic collection that keeps growing. And there's always something really cool. And I do like this one over, I like the Iron Fist over Luke Cage on that set. Maybe if I get it, I will do it mostly for Iron Fist. But I do like this Ghost Rider 90s version. It just one of my favorite. You know, even though I was familiar from the 80s with, you know, in this case, Johnny Blaze. I was familiar with the Ghost Rider. I think I was more into the Ghost Rider in the 90s because of Cage. So Daddy Ketch was definitely the Ghost Rider that I feel more connected to. And very cool design, definitely very 90s, and kudos to Marvel Legends for actually doing this. So it looks cool. If you're into Marvel Legends, that is what you need to do. Now let me take you now to McFarlane Toys. And the reason why we're taking you to McFarlane Toys right here is because there is a new release in the Collectors Club, as they call it now, the new thing that McFarlane is doing. Let me see if we can go there. Right there, we are seeing at this new Batman White Knight Batmobile Gold Label 7-inch scale vehicle. Now, this is what they released this week. It's $90. I'll tell you, it looks good because, and I love the packaging. I would say the packaging, I think, is perhaps the best part of the whole deal here. Let me see if we can open it. This is the packaging here. Looks really good. Now, for those who are familiar, of course, or unfamiliar with where this Batmobile version comes, this is from Sean Murphy, Bat, you know, the Batman, the White Knight series. Many call him the Murphyverse that he has created, the different series. There's 3 series actually within the series that he has created. And his vehicle, this is technically what they have the inspiration from. It looks great. Now, there are a couple of parts where I could say that I'm not necessarily totally in it because they seem too plasticky to me. Like, you see all the silver. It looks more like plastic silver, unpainted plastic rather than just silver. And when you look at the art of the White Knight, or when you see the Batmobile there, might not be that light of a color. Might be wrong, but it's kind of cool because it's going to fit in, at least it's going to fit in what they were trying to do with this action figure. You know, when they did this multiverse, DC multiverse, when McFarlane started it, one of the first figures that they did release was Sean Murphy's Batman, the White Knight. We already have the Bat Cycle based on Sean Murphy's design. It looks great with the figure. A lot of people did a lot of repaints with that. But this is going to be now the Batmobile that go with it. And I think it's kind of cool that they're doing it. Now, is it worth that much money? I'm not so sure about that. You know, I would say perhaps, you know, maybe a little bit cheaper. Because sometimes, you know, I will tell you the thing with McFarlane Toys is sometimes some of the stuff that they do is not necessarily the best looking one. Let me look at this video here. Let me see if we can see it. I don't know if you can see it there. This tiny little video here, I'm gonna open it. Maybe you can see it wider. This is the 360 of this model. I don't know if you could see it. It was very, very quick. In any case, we're going back, making it look smaller. Kind of cool. Now, in the description, after years of epic battles between Dark Knight and his twisted archenemy, Batman faces his greatest challenge yet. The Joker has been cured of his madness and is now sane. The clown prince of crime has changed his ways, fighting for good in Gotham City. All of that. So here you got it. Now, let's see if we can see other pictures here. This is another front image. Like I was telling you, there seems like there's a lot of plastic there. Very, very plasticky. I wish it was more of a, you know, like has a little more metallic color rather than just like plain plastic color. I'm sure that some people are going to customize this as they did with the Bat Cycle, because the Bat Cycle kind of suffers the same thing. So I'm sure some people are going to, they're ready to do the update and trying to make it look like the comic book. Now, I love Sean Murphy's designs. You know, is this a practical way to represent the in this case, the vehicle? I will tell you that not necessarily so, because, you know, like, you know, I will tell you, I love Sean Murphy since Tokyo Ghost. When Rick Remender's Tokyo Ghost, I do like, that's where he designed those motorcycles that look amazing, the vehicles. And he brought the same thing to the White Knight, the same type of designs, and it looks really fantastic. I love his art. But it's not really a practical way to have a vehicle like this. It just seemed very, very unpractical. It's like two motorcycles combined. It's like he took some ideas from the Tumblr and just kind of make it its own. And it's the engineering of these, or technically the technicality of a vehicle like this, is almost impossible in my opinion, from a technical standpoint, from engineering standpoint. But it looks cool, and that is the thing what makes it good. It's like, yeah, it's an impossibility of having a vehicle this type, the way it's everything set up, because there's no axle there, there's no connection, like how these two round, how do they rotate, there's separate rotation, things like that. But it still looks cool, you know. And at the end of the day, when it comes about, you know, this type of things, do you really care about accuracy? You know, do you really care about those things? Do you really care about something that is realistic or something that actually looks cool? You know, I leave it to you how you decide. But it does look within the Sean Murphy's world and the Murphyverse that he has created. That is the figure I was talking about. That one I remember it was a warm, you know, a peg warmer for a long time. I saw it in my Walmart so many times. It wasn't selling, but of course then everything starts selling fast. So I'm not sure that they're gonna, I think it's about time to do a re-release of the same figure, at least because a lot of people are gonna want to have this with the figure, because the figures are sold separately. So yeah, keep that in mind, unless you want to look it up or find it someplace else. I'm not sure if there's how much it would be and if it's still available somewhere. There were different variations, different things. They were all the same, you know. This is the one, but I'm sure that, you know, I think that it's time for him to have a re-release of this figure. Of course, that is just my opinion on that. So, but yeah, it's kind of cool. $89 you can order here. I will tell you one thing, I don't like sometimes to order from McFarlane Toys store. I order from them, and the shipping here is the killer. They really nail you with the shipping. So that's my only concern when I buy directly. So you're looking at easily $20 or $25 or more, perhaps, just for shipping. A lot more than that for a figure, which it just feels kind of ridiculous sometimes. I have paid some ridiculous prices for shipping around that amount for just less. Sometimes the shipping was more expensive than the figure itself. So yeah, that's the only thing that I'm not sure if they're gonna be available somewhere else. This is part of the gold label vehicle, it's called, they call it. It's McFarlane Toys exclusive store, so it's only exclusive through here. And I would say if you're really interested, then by all means come here. This is the only place you're gonna find it for the time being. Not sure what happened in the future. All right, my friends, so now let me take you to Sideshow. We're still talking about figures. I want to talk about another company, and this is a Square Enix, and I'm going to talk about Play Our Sky. Here you have the two, and actually, let me take it to Big Bad Toy Store, because we have Yuffy, Kisaragi, and Cloud Strife. If you're a fan of, what was that, the game, Final Fantasy VII. Definitely the rebirth, that's pretty much is this new game. Sideshow's carrying this too. Now, Cloud has been re-released a couple times. I think this is probably going to be the third time, but it does sell well. They have a little bit of height. They're bigger than 7 inches, close to 9 inches. I think it's a really nice figure. It's 10 inches. And it does have, you know, the hands, you know, there are a couple of things. The portrait, you know, can be changed. I think the faceplate looks kind of cool. I wish they'd release the motorcycle though. But that is very, very cool with the sword. If you're into this figure, 10 inches, less than 1/6, of course, more close to the size of a 110 statue, based on the scale, of course, in the figures. Looks kind of cool. This is a re-release, $180. Some people say that it's too much money for a figure, but if you're familiar with, in this case, Play Our Sky, definitely they're always, particularly this more deluxe version of figures, they tend to be more expensive. There's definitely a market. Now you got Yuffy, Kisaragi. That is actually, I like the figure here. Very nice. This one is a little shorter, but it's still close to the 10 inches. Not bad detail. I like the detail, and one thing I would say about this is that they're very poseable, you know, with the articulation, the type of knees. Some people might dislike the knees or the seams and stuff, but I think it works well with the figure and the way they're trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve with the figure, make it more poseable. And of course, you got the hands, the weapon, and of course the portrait. If you look at Big Bad Toy Store, there's another one also. I was looking at another figure with this line here, right here, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It seems to be the same price, $179, but also, as you can see, you have this, the Tifa. This is a reissue. This also there. But this is mostly based on the original Final Fantasy VII, not the Rebirth version. So it has a more cartoony style look. But it's there if you're interested. 119. So this one looks more cartoony. This other two, of course, they are more based on the newer games, so they have a more modern, like a more realistic type of look. So, but they're there. You know, they're not for everyone. They're not the cheapest. Definitely on the expensive side of figures. But if you're into Square Enix products, if you're into Final Fantasy VII on this collection, then your chance is there. And again, Cloud Strife is being reissued once again. I think the third version, even though it doesn't say like that. So go for it. All right, my friends. So this is what we have there. Now, let me take you also here at Sideshow. I want to show you another product. We're still on the figure side. I want to talk about Flame Toys. I like Flame Toys, a company that definitely I really enjoy what they do. They do have new figures this time around. They have the Snake Eyes, for example. If you are into the more like into G.I. Joe, but you like the figures, very kind of, you know, like you want like the more robotic style, Flame Toys does really fantastic. There's two different versions. You got the collector's edition, which is technically just the regular edition, or you got the light arm edition. So there's the different two versions. So we're gonna look at this too. The price with the collector's edition is cheap, you know, it's more expensive. But if we look at the, let's go for the collector's edition first. This company has a lot of, just to give you an idea, because why is it that some people say, why is the figures are so expensive? They do have die-cast elements. And that is the reason why the price is always higher. Here we can see on the, let's see additional details to give you an idea. The product size 8.27 inches tall, so it's not that tall. It's smaller than the Play Art Sky that we just saw. It's 2 pounds. Trying to see if there's any details on the elements that makes this piece. But yeah, they use a lot of different elements and definitely some die-cast elements. But here is the figure. These are very poseable. And I do like how Japanese the look is. Looks like a ninja samurai, so sorta. You know, with all the different weapons. It comes with a lot of different accessories. Even I love that hat, the rice straw hat. That looks pretty cool. But man, it's so robotic. It's so manga-like. It's a pretty cool. I wish it was actually 1/6. And then of course, then they'll have my money. But I'm looking at this figure, I'm like really interested on the look. And what's that? Does he have another arm? It's like a mechanized arm under the arm. So it's like he's like a robot. Technically, they're making Snake Eyes as a robot. So he's carrying his rifle there, his handgun there. A mechanized arm is holding one of the swords, and the other one is holding. That's super, super cool. So definitely this guy can do a lot of different things. This is a very cool figure for sure. And I do like the design and the style. Very nice pictures. But that straw hat is, or well, it's not even a straw hat. It's more like a mechanized hat, kind of resembling that. That looks awesome in my opinion. This is one of the most awesome figures that I've seen in recent times in my opinion. That's the reason why I'm talking about it today. It's just hard to beat. But yeah, it's pricey. But keep in mind that the elements that they produce is a lot of die-cast elements. Makes the figure, in my opinion, more premium. And this one is extremely, extremely poseable, as all Flame Toys figures are. And here you can see all the different parts that come with it. The accessories and weapons. Has a base and all. Very cool looking figure. Really like this one. So very nice to see. Now, besides that, they also have this, another on the kind of style with Drift from Transformers. This one is $320. Normally with this type of figures, oh wait, before we get into it, let me look at this, because there's also, if you don't want to pay that much money on that Snake Eyes, I'm sorry, I kind of missed, you got the Light Arm edition, which is the cheaper version, $145. That one technically is the same, but it does have less accessories, less weapons. Does it have the guns or the, you know, the extended arms? You only have the basic stuff. So yeah, there's still the option. If you don't want to spend like the money that they're asking for the other one, then just go for this one. And they still got a cool looking figure with the same possibility. But yeah, you lack some of the weapons, you lack some of the stuff there that you have on this one. So yeah, just keep that in mind. They still got the swords, but there are a couple of things missing there. But now, looking at Drift here, this is a very cool looking piece. And if I'm not mistaken, with a lot of Flame toys, some of them do have light up features. I'm not sure this one does have it, but that looks super fantastic. Also in the same vein, kind of samurai style, you know, very battle armor type of thing. That looks fantastic. Now, these Transformers do not transform into vehicles. Keep that in mind. They're only for, you know, to post them. They're not that big of a, it's not a big figure, a little bit smaller, closer to what, you know, McFarlane toy size, like around 7 inches perhaps. But that is still looks really nice. Very nice detail, die cast elements. Even the portrait, you can see that very manga style. That looks super cool. You know, some of the style that you saw with IDW comics, you know, more into line. This is a really nice way to pose this figure for sure. Very nice looking. I don't think this one has light up features. I don't see any. I could be wrong, but based on there, actually it does. So yeah, it does have lighter features. Look at that. Very cool. Very cool. Even the Autobots symbols shine in red and the yellow and the blue. That is very, very cool. So very nice. Very nice. This is another one, another winner for Flame Toys. Definitely this company does amazing stuff. Available at Sideshow, as you can see. So if you're really into it, this is a good time. There, it's not a cheap figure, $320. Definitely this is for the ones who are invested into this company, invested into the products. Go for it with the LED lights. They looks really fantastic in my opinion. So yeah, kudos to them for that. Now for the height, just to make sure that we provide that information here. Well, the height, oh, it's not even that big. Well, the box, I'm sorry. The product size 8.27, which is not bad. Actually, it's not. We kind of skip it in a way. I didn't, maybe I skip it. I didn't see it really well. 8.27. So yeah, it does have a little bit of height. Yeah, the expensive figure, but Flame Toys definitely sell some expensive figures. High quality though, with die-cast elements, which is important. It's not just pure plastic. All right, my friends. So we're skipping that. We're moving from Flame Toys. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody that is watching. Don't forget to leave a like. Also to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. Next thing, I want to take you to Robosen. Robosen, this company. I haven't really had the opportunity to talk about it. I did talk about the Optimus Prime before, but I want to talk about the most recent products that they do. You can find this, many places are selling this, even I think Amazon is selling this, but also you can find them in other places. But I want to talk about Robosen. We're going to cover Megatron. There's a couple products that we want to cover here today. Actually, I want to cover, these are the new products. We got to talk about this, even this Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Alpha that just came out. We're going to look at it in a moment, but first I want to talk about the new ones. Flagship Megatron and Flagship Grimlock. I want to talk about those two. So let's start with Grimlock. This has been out for a little bit. It looks fantastic. I've seen some reviews already of this product, and I'm not sure. I think these were sent out as, you know, review pieces, as review, if, you know, whatever options or they have used for review. They send it to different reviewers, big reviewers, all of that. It looks amazing. I do like it because it's so realistic, as you can see in this video. It can transform. It's just amazing. The Optimus Prime they have, in my opinion, was fantastic. And the more you see this, the more you realize how good this is overall. You know, you can do so many things. Control it with the, you know, with an app. That might be something that some people might dislike, because sometimes, of course, everything has to go with Wi-Fi. There's no remote control that you could use. It would be nice. It was not just app based, but there was an actual remote, because app can die. How long this company is going to stay in business is the app is going to be functional. Apps need to be constantly be transformed, has to be renewed, has to be updated. And if the company doesn't exist anymore, then you're out of luck. Then you have a big chunk of plastic, that robotic, that you don't have a way to control it. So that's the only thing that I would say. It would be nice. I don't think they provide a remote control here. It does have the authentic G1 sounds. It's really, really cool. But you can do a lot of things. Control Grimlock in both Dyno mode and Robo mode simply from the app. Enjoy quick responses from Bluetooth Bell E 5.0 as your remote control. The robot are the conversion movements and impressive action from any mobile device. And that's the thing again. For now, the app can be updated. You can control it. But again, apps go away or they get obsolete after a while. Once the company's done, how are you going to control it if you don't have an app? That is my only thing that I would say. Because apps have to be updated, whether they are on the App Store, on Google, or whether on the App Store, on Apple, or any other store, App Store or Google Play, you still gotta update those apps. And after certain years, they get obsolete. So yeah, that's the only concern. The price for this one is $16.99. I think it's fantastic. You can watch the video. I think you can go to Robosen in YouTube, and you can watch that video. And it looks fantastic. You can do so many things. You can actually update. You can make it your own. You can create different things or different movements, and you can actually have them to do certain sets of things. It's up to you. You're the one that decide what you want to do with the piece. So that's the one. Now, Megatron is the new one in this flagship, as they call it. These are the most expensive. Then they create like second versions, which are a little cheaper, less than $1,000, but still like $899, $900 or so. They're smaller versions, but these are the main ones. So when you look at Megatron here, we're going to look at this video very quick. I'm going to just put that down. But look at this one. This is the new one that they have. And that looks kind of cool. I like this Megatron. But now, instead of just having it like converted into a handgun, they make it a tank, which, some people might not. If you're more a purist, you might not like that. But if you're not, then definitely this is great. Look, you can see how many chips, how many parts, 36 high precision servo motors. So it has a lot of things with this robot. And then you can create so many things. Now, it's cool. Now, I will tell you one thing. I'm not necessarily a fan of the way the gun of the weapon in the back, the way they have it there instead of just being like facing forward. A couple of things I wish, is they still try to stay true to the G1 persona, but I feel that a couple of things they kind of fail with it. But you still, you can do so many great things. You can do so many programmings. You can make it do so many different moves. It comes with the little weapons too, look like that. That is really cool. As a light up energon sword or energon mace, and those are cool. And as you see, it transforming into a tank. But some people seem to love the idea of the tank. Of course, it was introduced later. Oh, look at that! The cannon comes out. That is really cool. Oh dang! That thing has traction. Oh, it has some shells too. I didn't know that. That is very cool. That is fun. And look at that. Now transforming. It's a cool thing, man. It is a cool. You can even control the lights, I think, on the color of the lights on the eyes. Although I don't know why you want to change it from red to something else. It's battery and charge indicator. Okay. In the front. It tells you if it's fully charged. That's kind of cool and neat. That is a really, really nice robot for sure. I don't know what you think about that, guys. I don't know, but that is definitely... And that, of course, this is Optimus. That Optimus is cool too, man. like stop motion is kind of cool. Look at that. Damn, that brings me some vibes of, what was that? The War for Cybertron. This is the flagship edition. Order now. The price is going to be, as you know, pretty much the same. Here you can see all the things. Ultra LED, bright LED right there. All the stuff there. Better track design. A brilliant metallic finish. All the different weapons. Of course, we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Transformers, which is cool. You get a commemorative collector's coin. You get that also with every time you order something, you get a coin. They give you one, which is kind of cool. You get a sticker too, which, hey, that's the least they can do. A collector's dream signed by Frank Weller. So the 4th anniversary of Transformers, Robosen is giving 40 lucky consumers a surprise when they open their new Megatron robot. An autographed chest plate by the original 1994 voice actor himself, Frank Welker. I will tell you, it would be nice to actually give it to everybody. But some people will have the signature. That is actually make it even better. But it's going to be pretty much chosen at random, just to keep that in mind. Now, everything you have to choose. Let me go back to the bottom. We're going to go to the price. Because I think right there. There's a pre-sale price on this one. Actually, this one is cheaper than the other one. Look at the price. Pre-sale price $8.99. List price is $1,200. It's not a bad price when you compare it to Grimlock. How expensive Grimlock was. Very nice looking. Very nice job there. So let's give him some credit. Robosen did a fantastic job there. Now there's another thing that they released, and I want to, while I'm having here, have this Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Alpha. For fans of Lightyear, this film, or actually the character itself, more than the film, I'm more of a fan of the character itself. This is another one that they released. Cinematic experience realized. Turn down the music a little bit, but you know, it has like a smoke effect as well. Galactic gear fully upgraded if you're into this one. Interesting figure with the hands. 23 highly precision servo motor, so it does have a lot of different things, functions to create this. It, you know, has voices. It has 200 plus authentic audio clips, 40 voice commands. Again, you can control it with an app. One of the things that I'm not necessarily a fan of, it would be nice to have just a controller, remote that you can use. The price for this one is $8.99 for this one. I'm not sure if there's a video where we can see anything there. I don't see a video, but yeah, that gives you an idea. There's a lot of things. This is the new thing that they're doing there. Buzz Lightyear. Let me see a gallery. Okay. Here in the gallery, you can see different pictures. All the elements that they have. Here is the packaging on this one. Very nice one. The box. This is the same. On the spec side, the elements, you got ABS. It has silicone just to make the more natural look on the face. The aluminum alloy. The product weight is going to be not that heavy, 3.31 pounds. The jetpack itself is 0.3 kilograms. And it says the charging time takes up to 122 hours to charge. And the battery capacity, number of chips. So it gives you all the specs here, and the PD quick charger adapter. So you have a charger there. That's kind of cool. So yeah, this is kind of cool. If you're really into Buzz Lightyear, it's been a few by different companies recently. This is another variation, but this has more of a lot of robotic elements and movement, all of that. I think a lot of people are going to be more. This is perhaps one that people are going to like the most because of the robotic aspects of it, that you can do movements, while the others are just more figures. Other companies are just creating figures that you have to pose yourself. So yeah, this is another option in the market. There's plenty right now, Buzz Lightyears from different companies and producers, but this is an option where you can do a lot more, in my opinion, which is not bad at all. All right, so we move on from this one, and coming back a little bit to here. Let me drink some water. Ooh, that was a mouthful. I was talking forever. Actually, I do talk forever anyway. I'm a talker. All right. So now let's go back to Sideshow. And I want to take you to Sideshow because here we're going to look at the most recent releases, and definitely for Star Wars fans. Let me take you there. Let me get this ready here. We'll come into the screen in just a moment. All right, let me kind of change the screen right here. All right, so we're here at Sideshow, and here there's a few releases that happened with Hot Toys. Let me take you there. I'm going to actually go here. It goes directly to their main page. I'm going to look at the most recent ones. This is everything that has been done recently. And last week, we cover a lot of these things. I skipped one. I did not get the opportunity to talk about then. But came last minute, and is actually, which I'm glad that happened today, because it's two things that I'm looking at this here. This is the stuff that we're going to cover today. We have this Stormtrooper with Death Star, background thing. And this is a very cool, this is a very different than what they have done before. There's the Shadow Trooper. We got the Clone Trooper, Gold Chrome. This on the wait list already. Luke Skywalker from Dark Empire. It's already the artisan one with the actually rooted hair. That is already on the wait list, the regular version. Now that one, it's on pre-order still. And of course, we got Darth Maul. We also have the Imperial Commando. Was announced that this is coming. We don't know when. I love the Imperial Commando, so we're going to look at that. But first, let's start with this one, the Stormtrooper with the Death Star environment. I like this because, normally we complain about Hot Toys always giving us like figures with, a lot of things that, like the bases are so basic and boring in some way. But this one actually does come with a very nice way, to present them with the Death Star environment. That to me is cool. That is a way that is different than before. It looks awesome on display, and I'm glad that they're doing that. As a matter of fact, they should produce more stuff like this just for people to actually buy separately, to actually set up their stuff separately, not just individually. The Stormtrooper, it's a Stormtrooper. It's just what it is. But the background, the way you can set up that, the LED light up in this, it is a good way to do it. It's a clean way to do it. You don't have to technically break the bank, and you can actually make a lot of money if you start creating this. Companies Jews started doing that. That's when there's just a lot of the third-party people were starting selling all this, type of backgrounds for setups, for display, all that. And of course, those companies have grown into their own companies. But this is a good way. I think there's money to be made. People like that kind of thing where you don't have to build your own or have it to have a third-party person to do it, where you actually buy from the same company you buy your products. You can have this. And I think, in my opinion, they look fantastic. It looks super cool. The Stormtroopers are just basic Stormtroopers, still good. The classic Stormtrooper design is there. It looked very nice. You can buy as many as you like. You can build these armies, as you can see in this picture, which is always cool. Have this army here. Expensive if you want to build this army at that price point. You're looking at close to pretty much over $1,000 just on those figures right there for figures. But this is a very, very cool way to represent the troopers, to display them very nicely, to create those environments. Now, you got the Shadow Trooper here, also with the Death Star environment. That's another one, $240. Now, this one is in red. It is pretty much the same. The only difference is the color, but it looks fantastic. This is definitely a nice figure with nice, display. This Shadow Trooper looks so pretty much an elite soldier, but it looks really, really cool. Very nice detail. It's always Hot Toys killing it with these troopers. With the clone, with everything that has to do with Star Wars soldiers. They know what they're doing. Really looks fantastic. Here you can see the environment. I love the environment, definitely. And again, I wish they could you can sell them separately, not just individually with these figures. they will make money. People will buy. You can make a good profit out of that, and you start selling kind of those type of environments, and people can buy them. That would be awesome. $240, I think, is a good price, a fair price for this figure. Very fair. Now, there was one that when it was just a gold chrome version, I'm not sure who wants to get a gold chrome clone trooper, but people out there want to have a special, it's something very, very special. It was limited to 2,500 worldwide. And of course, they had some specials over there in China. I'm sure that Sideshow didn't sell 2,500. They have an allotment, so they did sell a few, but whatever they had, it's already sold out on this list. It's kind of cool. It's not like they're giving you gold. It's just, that little paint that they do, golden paint, that probably peels off eventually. Still, it's kind of cool looking. It comes with all the different, I personally prefer them when they are just representing, whether it's the game, the movies, whatever, when they're actually that and they look like the games that I play, Battlefront, or when I'm just watching the movies, or even the animation. It looks cool though. I will tell you this, it kind of stands out, and I'm sure that is the reason why a lot of people went for it, because it stands out in your collection. If you have a lot of clone troopers, this is gonna be technically like the one in the middle that is gonna stand out the most, even though there's nothing accurate about it, or no, it's not based on anything really. It's just that they decide to go for it in that way. Some people probably bought two. You can see where you have the different masks, and you can make a golden army, which definitely has no effect. And is not effective in the army, because technically it's like you have a target in your back and in your face telling you, here I am, here, just shoot me. So but it just still look cool, looks cool on display. I'm sure that is the reason why people went for it. Very nice. It's a special edition, and people love special editions. I don't know, don't ask me why people love some special edition stuff. I do like special edition stuff, so I'm not gonna judge people by doing so. Now, the Imperial Commander, we're gonna skip because, hey, Imperial Commander, that's all the pictures that we have. We know we're gonna see more soon, but yeah, this is just what we know so far, which not really much. You can actually sign up for them to get more details when it goes on pre-order, but that is the one. Now, the other piece that I want to cover is Luke Skywalker. I want to talk about Luke Skywalker. This is based on the Dark Empire. And in my opinion, that if you are a Star Wars fan, you call yourself a Star Wars fan, you have to read the Dark Empire. The Dark Empire is technically the beginning of the comic book world with, the extended Star Wars universe that was done through Dark Horse Comics for over 20 years. And it's such a fantastic story from the 90s. Technically, when Luke Skywalker, this is in the aftermath of pretty much the Return of the Jedi, when everything ends. And in some way, Luke Skywalker goes into the dark side, of course, comes back to his senses, but there's a time where he goes into the senses. Some of those elements were taken into the new movies. The Emperor survives through cloning, all of that. It's a really nice, you need to read it. Veitch was the writer there. What was that? Cam Kennedy was the artist. Fantastic art, very different, very unique of that era in the 90s. But of course, this is technically, they took it from the covers of that comic book, and they come out with this one. This is with the one with the rooted hair. It looks fantastic in my opinion. This definitely is one that's the reason it sold right away. People wanted to have this one. This is definitely based on that cover. Here you can see Star Wars Dark Empire. For those who haven't seen that cover, Star Wars Dark Empire. Right there. Here you can see Dark Empire. Okay, we're coming here and maybe see we can open it this. Right there. This is Dark Empire. This is the full cast. This is the audio, because they, after that, they also, what they did was they retold the story on like an audio book. So this is from that, but this is the cover that technically they are basing this from, which is, it's kind of nice that they went for this. Dark Empire, I'd recommend anyone to read. Also, you can get the Epic Collection if you haven't. I recommend anyone to look at the Epic Collection. This is actually the cover that was used. Okay, so I'm trying to see if we can open it in a way where I can see it. Well, that gives you an idea. Dark Empire right there. Very cool. That's the whole cover. the wraparound cover. That was the wraparound R that was used on that particular cover. Really fantastic, really. So I will tell you this, it's kind of neat that they're going for this one. And they have even the green lightsaber, which is great. Very nice. I will tell you, like, Hot Toys has come a long way. The portraits, you know, for the price of these figures in comparison to other companies like Queen Studios and Art or any other company that they're doing figures, I'm telling you, Hot Toys to give you a more bang for your buck. Yeah, and that is the reason why the company's still at the top in my list and the top producer of 1/6 scale figures, because, you know, they know how to give you the best for what you're paying. You're paying, and sometimes you feel like, what? Sometimes I'm like, is that they're charging for that much for this, or that less? You know, it's not much. You know, 3,500, and it's definitely sold. That's the exclusive. Now you got the other 2 editions. That was the artisan edition, rooted hair. Now you got the special edition. Now let me check this, because with the editions they have, I want to see exactly. The special edition bonus for selected markets is like you get a commemorative coin. So you get a coin for this one. And also you got separated rolling eyeballs and highly detailed nylon. So we'll all know that. So you got the lightsaber power. So you got the 2 lightsabers. I think the artisan edition technically is the one with the rooted hair. Yeah. It had the rolling eyeballs, but also has the rooted hair. That's why you're paying more. That really, it was quick to sell. Now this one comes with the commemorative coin, but if I'm not mistaken, this one doesn't have that. It has like a sculpted hair, and to be honest with you, that hair looks really good. It doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, the natural hair looks really nice. The rolling eyes still there, and yes, you might feel that the other one feels more natural with the rooted hair. And that's the reason why it sold out so quickly. But this one's still very, very good on display. Do you really care about the rooted hair? I don't think so. So this is the other version, still available. As you can see, it's special edition, pre-order at $280. Now you want the collector's edition, which is the basic one. This one is $282. So right now I would say special edition. Definitely you get everything you got with the other one. The rolling eyes, all the only difference is that you're not getting the coin. That's it. But it's the same figure. So right now I will go for the special edition just to have the extra coin. If you care for that extra coin, which I think is always good to have something extra. Let's say that you want at some point want to sell the figure or whatever, or just like to collect coins. Why not? It does seem like have like a lot of features there too, with the, you know, with his belt and the gizmos that he has there. But it's very cool. Definitely, they did a fantastic job with this one. I think I love Dark Empire. I would recommend anyone here to rig Dark Empire. If you're unfamiliar with Extended Universe, you can always go here on my channel and look at my video, my top recommendations, my top 10 comic books from the Dark Horse Comics for Star Wars, the Extended Universe. Look at that video on my recommendations there, on my videos, on my top 10 list, on that playlist of my top 10. You'll find that video, one of my most popular videos on this channel. I took about all my recommendations for Dark Horse Comics, for all the comics that were produced on the Dark Comics. They were produced under Dark Comics, Dark Horse Comics, and one of them definitely was Dark Empire. That is a must read for sure. But if you wanted to get into those comics, then definitely go to that list. That will give you an idea where to start. Because I know there's so many people get confused about all the comics that were produced, and now of course we have the new Disney comics, and also I've been reading those, and I need to come up with I need to make a list for those, because definitely is getting to the place where there's so many. But in my opinion, the Dark Horse era was the best. It was fantastic. You know, there's so much value that you can get there. So go to that. So look at that video, and again, support the channel by watching it and by liking it too. That after we finish with that, you know, I'm trying to be trying to promote myself, which is whether it's good or not. Let's go to the figure that I think a lot of people are excited for in this Darth Maul. You know, to have the 2 different Darth Mauls that we have. There's 2 different versions, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, there's 4 different versions here. You got the collector's edition, you got the special edition, you got the with Sid Speeder special edition, and then you got just the speeder. Now, what's the difference in all this for? Let's look at this one. Let's go to the special edition first. The special edition, it's cost $405. You can see Darth Maul, which is the speeder bike or whatever he has, of course, when he was introduced. Looks really fantastic, by the way, on that. It's a fantastic portrait. This is perhaps the best Darth Maul they have produced. A lot of people are excited just to have it. It looks great. The figure on that display, the special edition bonus, again, is just for selected market. You get that extra coin, which seems like they're doing now. It looks really, really neat. Very, very nice. It comes with Lladró features. That is definitely a nice display. Very nice with those. He looks fantastic. The portrait looks fantastic. The detail is fantastic on this figure. This figure is definitely, it's Hot Toys at its best. Hot Toys at its best. This company knows how to produce figures for sure. Look at that portrait. Fantastic. Looks so realistic. Look like you're looking at the guy, you know, like with, you know, have the movable eyes. It looks like you're looking at somebody with just paint, you know, like a human being that has just the prosthetics, you know, the actor there. They did such a fantastic job recreating his face. You can see his face really well. There's no denying that that's him. It looks so like him. It's just so good. It's just a really nice depiction of Darth Maul. And the detail is fantastic. You got two newly developed head sculpts with separate rolling eyeballs, which is fantastic. The one, the zeros, they're both fantastic. You got enhanced facial features and paint applications. Actually, you get more. You get this. So you get a total of 4. That is amazing. 4 different ones. Oh, no. My apologies. This actually are the new ones. So this is the old model. This is the old Darth Maul they have. Here is a comparison. I was thinking like 4. No, it's a comparison to the old one. As you can see, this is more roundish. This is more natural. This actually looks like the real actor more than this one. The enhancements of these two versions in this is fantastic. This is the better version. This is definitely the one to have. Yeah, you can still keep the old one. But if you, I would simply say, you know what, just this is, if you want to upgrade, this is the nice upgrade. This is definitely the upgrade that you need. It's a much better figure. It comes with a lot more. Now you get the speeder. The regular one is the same as that one. The only difference now we know is the coin. One has a coin, one doesn't. So I'm guessing they have a different number. The special edition is the same figure, coin. The collector's edition has no coin. But it's the same figure as we saw. No speeder bike. Very nice. So we already saw this figure technically. Look at this one. Very nice. And you can post it like that. It looks so great. I think this is a great Darth Maul. I need to add this to my Hot Toys collection for sure. I will add this to my Hot Toys collection. No doubt about it. It looks really fantastic. Looks great. Very nice. Very nice depiction. They did a fantastic job. I would say, again, they continue to kill it. And that is really, really cool. All right, my friends. This ends technically all our action figures on this list so far. Definitely, we're doing really good time. There's no many comments right now, which is great. And I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to take my first break of the night. Coming back, we have... you know, a good number. We're going to talk about statues. That is it. We cover all the action figures. We still got to talk about Spiral Studio. We're going to talk about Mondo, Iron Studios. We're talking about First for Figures, Pure Arts. We're going to look at Lladró. We're going to look at Beast Kingdom. We're going to look at Sideshow Collectibles. We still got Piji Studio, Blitzway. We have Tweeterhead. And we have JND Studios. So definitely we have still a good night ahead of us, and just stay tuned. Be right back, and we'll cover as much as we can. Be right back.
it's clearer. Hoping there's still time. Let me find a way. Oh, maybe I felt stuck in my crusade. Oh, well, you were counting on my first aid. So what can I do? I don't wanna lose you. You can shut me out, but I know I can prove to you only if you dare to make the walls come down. Now I got you, know that I got you, know that I'ma be there. I'ma be there for you. I'ma be there. I'ma be there for you. I'ma be there. I'ma be there for you. I'ma be up all night like in the old days. But we've so
All right, my friends, welcome back. Well, thank you for sticking with me. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy May the 4th. Those who are still celebrating the Star Wars. We have still some way to go. We thank you for the break. We are starting now in this next part of the video. We're going to cover statues, starting again from scales, from the smaller scales to the bigger scales. That's how we do, technically, from figurines to statues and so on. So we have definitely still a good night. We cover a lot of action figures. Coming back, I want to cover the first one I want to really cover, and for that reason I want to take you to a Spec Fiction. We're gonna go to Spec Fiction here because this is where we at. Actually, please don't forget to leave a like, to leave a comment. Let me know you're watching the video. Subscribe if you're watching this for the first time, you like the content. Let me know, support the channel that way. Here we are here at Spec Fiction, and what I want to cover, some couple of figures here. I want to start with this one right here, which is the Godzilla 2024 Evolve form. This is, of course, based on the newest film, Godzilla Cross Kong, the New Empire, that just came out in the movie theaters. And unfortunately, I didn't watch. I didn't have the opportunity to go and watch, which kind of kicked myself. I'm gonna have to wait until I get an opportunity to watch it on video at home, on streaming services or whatever, to watch it. But this is Spiral Studios, a company that produces a lot of Godzilla figures, a lot of vinyl PVC figures, and that is pretty much what they do. And they have this new figure, just to give you a reference on the scale. Maybe see it's solid PVC. Its product size is 27 centimeters. And that's the height. Just for those who are unfamiliar with centimeters, kind of give you an idea, because I forgot to. I try to remember exactly what was that. Let me convert it here for you. Let me see if I have it. 27 centimeters. All right. Okay, come on. It gets me the... All right. I get into some of this weird ads. I need to change this app that I'm using. 20 centimeters. All right. Just to give you an idea. Sorry for the delay. No, that's not one. In any case, it's not that big of a figure. Just to give you an idea. You're looking at just like around 10-11 inches, so it's not really a huge figure, but definitely for collectors of this type, you know, they might like it. It's not really huge. It's longer because of the tail. It's kind of cool. You know, it amazes me because, you know, I always think about Godzilla. You know, there's a lot of collectors out there in the world that love Godzilla, and they collect Godzilla figures, vinyl figures and all. There's a lot of companies that produce in Asia, in Japan, produce a lot of this for the market, which in my opinion is great that companies do that. In some ways, kind of different that they're doing that. And definitely there's a big market, particularly in Japan, with Godzilla. It's such a big, you know, like, it's an icon, and they love this icon. Although I will tell you, the Godzilla they do in this movie has a more of an Americanized version. Looks more like a big lizard than anything else, which is differs a lot from the type of Godzilla that you see in Japan, as you can see in Godzilla -1, that it has a more Japanese style and the design is different. You know, it's a creature that is not necessarily a giant lizard. It's more Godzilla. It's different. It's more round in so many ways. But yeah, definitely this is something that they do in this new version. This is the heat ray version, when of course everything gets in color. It's more of a vinyl, $260 for this one. It's all PVC, which is more than vinyl, so it's gonna be a little heftier, heavier. You wanna feel a bit more premium in that sense. But here's what this company does, and they've been doing very productive. You can see the stuff, a lot of the stuff they have here on pre-order. They have a lot of different things. The Legacy series, Scylla statue, the Mothra from the 2019 film, the King Ghidorah, all these things that they have. The King Ghidorah from the 1991 film. So they have this has got 1984 statues. So they already have a series. They're building this series with all these different versions. They also got the 2019 film here, the 2019 Atomic Charge Edition. So this company definitely, it's what they're doing. You know, they're doing this, the 2014 film, the Heat Ray version. I like this burning Godzilla statue. This is definitely very, very cool. This was very, very expensive. The most expensive one yet, and it has, you know, the light up feature. I think this one was a lot larger than the one they're selling here. No, it's actually the same. It was just, this was made out of resin in comparison to the one we're looking at, which is PVC. And here's the Burning Godzilla statue deluxe edition. So again, this is made out of resin and therefore a lot more expensive. But yeah, this company, as you can see, produces all sort of things for Godzilla fans. So kind of cool. They have it here at Spec Fiction. You can look at it. I'm sure that you might find it somewhere else too, but here you can come to Spec Fiction if you're interested. All right, so the next one, and we're still going into Godzilla. We're gonna go here to while we're here, I'm gonna look at the next Godzilla statue, and this is from Mondo. They have a 1/6 scale. They call it 1/6 scale figure. I think this is wrong in the definition, because if it was 1/6, it would be a monster size type of statue if it's based on real dimensions. But you know, this is the Godzilla Tokyo SOS premium scale statue. This is made out of resin, polystone, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see on the details. Maybe it has the Godzilla statue, 2 Mothra larva, base diorama, swappable closed lower jaw, swappable chomping and Mothra legs lower jaw, swappable semi-transparent heat ray attack with head, swappable tail tip, and materials polystone and resin. Okay, so we're correct here. Let me see the heights. Let's see if there's any dimensions. Yeah, the product size is 16 inches tall. And the width is 17 inches tall. So yeah, it's larger than the figure that we just saw. But here you can see on this statue, it's kind of more of in line with what you expect from Godzilla. A lot more Japanese in design and style, more classic. And this is the 360 here. I do like this statue. If you're really into the classic Godzilla, then definitely this is a great statue to have. And even the art box that they went for is really, really cool. They went for a very nice concept, very Japanese. Looks like the poster of a film. And here you can see the larvae. Larva's looking like, that is a funny way to depict them there. And then, of course, the power comes out. They're so Japanese in the look. Like an old Japanese movie. If you're ever watching those Godzilla films, you know that the effects that they did, of course, for the time were interesting, but of course nowadays you can come up with so many, you know, the stuff that we do with CGI nowadays is amazing, but of course, you know, back in the day you didn't have the same. It looks really cool, man. As a statue, even the details on the base, the portrait, the paint job is excellent. Very definitely respects and represents the source material for sure. And the details also on in the base are great, with the city destruction surrounded by it. Look at that. Chomping on that arm. That is a very, very cool depiction of Godzilla. Very nice looking statue for sure. Many different pictures, different angles. And this is, I don't know how big this girl is. She seems to have big hands. As you can see, those are big fingers. Maybe she's the artist. She has definitely strong hands. She has the hands of an artist, somebody that works with her hands for sure. But in any case, she did it. You know, it's a nice depiction. Look at that. Very nice depiction with the city destruction and everything. Great detail. Very nice statue. If that is the comparison right next to the box, that box is going to be huge, man. Look at that box for that statue. Technically taller than the girl that we just saw. But hey, cool. Look at the detail on that building. Like the paint job on the skin, the effects there, that ship there. Super, super cool. Very nice detail, and so on and so on. So yeah, very nice. Definitely, there's another one, $585. I think it's a fair price for what they're offering here. Very nice looking depiction of Godzilla. Kudos to Mondo for doing such a fantastic piece. Now, while we have you here, let me take you back to Sideshow, because I want to take you to Iron Studios. Now, I just recently received and I need to pre-order. I need to review, but I need to get to it. The 1/10 scale, the Doomsday versus Superman statue. I have it on display downstairs in my living room, and I have a special place where I display them. I'm gonna make a review of it. I like it, very cool. I still have some things that I had to say that I wasn't crazy about, but I'll point that out when the time comes. But I will tell you that Iron Studios is a company, they do really cool looking things, you know, like particularly with all these figures that they come up with. This the 110, they're the kings of 110, and they know what they're doing. So the new one here is the Deadpool versus Deadpool and Wolverine Deluxe. Of course, this is Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. Looking forward to that film. We saw the trailer not long ago. People excited for the trailer. And the best part of this is that this statues reveal things of the movie that we don't get to see in the trailers. And the fact that he is wearing, Hugh Jackman is wearing the cowl. He's wearing his, you know, iconic mask. Finally, after all these years of watching Wolverine movies and X-Men movies, finally we get in the Wolverine that we want to see, you know, as he represented in the comics. So here Hugh Jackman is going to be wearing it. And how we know that? Because the statue is kind of giving us that hint. So I'm really more excited now to go to the movie theater just to watch it, just because now I can see Hugh Jackman wearing it. Wearing it, and, you know, the way I want to see him. So it's kind of cool. Pictures are nice. That little dog, you know, like with the pool thing, the pool corpse, and they have the little pogo there. That is really cool. So I definitely looking forward to this film. Very nice, very type of, you know, Deadpool-esque type of depiction. 110, 8.5 is not that big, but it's a very cool depiction, and definitely Deadpool is in love with Hugh Jackman. That is the coolest depiction ever. That is just so fun to have. Technically, if you don't have any 110 scale statues, just to have this one just to stand alone, that's technically what you can do. You know, that is very, very cool to see Hugh Jackman doing that. That is very, very cool. There's a very nice depiction. And I will tell you what, a lot of times with the 110 scale on Iron Studios, I realized that the scales differ a lot between pieces. They call everything 110, but some pieces are bigger than others. Don't ask me why. I think it's just the way they build stuff up, or it's more a factory decision, and sometimes the way they do the packaging and how much they're doing for the packaging. Because the packaging, the size of the packaging matters in reference to how much are they going to charge, or the factories charge. But don't ask me how, but that is how factories do it. And these companies don't have their own factories. All these companies, they depend on different factories to do the work. So it's kind of cool. I like the detail. Definitely the detail kind of works well with the suits, because of course it's how it's very based on the films. And I think all that extra texture is fine. I like that the sign of Deadpool is cut with of course the claws from Wolverine. That is a nice touch. Also, the ground, I don't know if that's kind of representing a little bit of snow, perhaps. More like a desertic type of feel. We will know more. That pogo, man. All tactical. That is very cool. Very nice detail. Very nice Deadpool for sure. Very cool one. This is definitely a winner in my opinion. And I think that is one that is going to do really well for them. This diorama here, this statue, $255. I think it's a fair price for what they're offering here. That is really, that looks really, really cool. So yeah, it's a very nice one. Kudos to Iron Studios for doing something very, very awesome in my opinion. All right, so now let me take you to another company. I'm gonna take you to First for Figures. First for Figures, they also released a couple of things last few days, last week. But I think you can see, if you're into Animal Crossing, you can go and look at this one. You also have the Banjo-Kazooie Termite Banjo. That is another addition to the collection. But the one I want to talk about is Pharaoh Atem. I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I gotta be honest with you. I don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's a very cool looking depiction of this character, which I already know because I know who Yu-Gi-Oh is. Although I don't really care much about the story or even the card games. There are no fans out there. There's two different versions, as always, with First for Figures. You get the basic regular one. Right now, you got the early pre-order gift where you get some type of discount, 15% off for a period of time. For the regular, you get $20 for the exclusive edition, and then you got the definitive edition. Now, the regular here, and there's two different versions, it's the one you're gonna get anywhere else. The exclusive edition is the one that you can order here, and the ultimate definitive edition is the one that the exclusive edition comes with a light up. I'm not sure if they're gonna have it somewhere else too. I didn't see it at Sideshow, so I'm not sure. Probably they're gonna end up there. Hopefully they end up there as well. But the definitive edition is definitely the one, the biggest one, that you will only order here through First for Figures. Now, looking at this, let me show you. Let's go for the regular version, $254 on this one. Let's see if we have some of the artists here. I think you can see them on the additional information. This limited edition numbering, authentic card. It doesn't say how many they're going to be produced, just to get an idea. The artists here is Leo Colapietro, Samuel Martins, Mark Andre, Matt Ducharme, Ducharme. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Alexander Pachenko, Steven Stalberg, and Tubuy. Sorry if I mispronounced your names, guys, but thank you for what you did. Thank you for the job that has been done here. Now, looking at the pictures, this is just the basic regular one. As you can see, some people didn't like. I was reading through some of the comments in online social media. People didn't care much about the smoking effect. I have no issue with it. I think it's kind of cool the way they did it. I like the type of resin they use here, or PVC that has been used here. It looks really cool. It looks great. The character looks that, some part of the film, of course, he's like a Pharaoh thing or something, or he is already a Pharaoh and something like that. Don't quote me on that. I still don't understand it very well because I don't really follow it. But I do like the depiction here, and it definitely looks really, really cool. The base is very cool. Something First for Figures knows how to make this type of depictions in a simpler but also very nice way. This is already a series. There's other figures that have been released for this. So this definitely is going to complement those other figures. Here you can see. This is going to be, scale-wise, this I think is like a 12 inches. It's a 12 inches statue. How big that is based on comparison, because 12 inches would be like a 1/6, around 1/6. But this can be technically a 1/8 or 1/7 scale. Even 1/9 scale type of thing. I think it's not 1/10, but probably between 1/8 to 1/7, somewhere in between, because of the base also brings some height to things, or you can be close to 1/6. It's really cool. That is just the basic of this one. For the early pre-order gift, for the discount, you got like 21 days, so you can have that extra discount. There's a payment plan. It's made out of resin, which is great. Now, if you want the other one, this is the exclusive edition, $264 for $10 more. You not only get that cool looking smoking effect, you also get a light up feature to go with it, and that is also great. It's 17-inch painted resin statues, is right there, up to the top, which is kind of strange because I noticed that they were saying that it was 12 in other places and 17 with the ultimate one version. So I think something is quite wrong in the description. I think it's 12 inches, this one, not 17. I might be wrong, might be even a 1/6 here then. Let me look at some of the details on the dimensions just to have an idea. Oh yeah, they were wrong there. The statue, the height is 11.5 inches. The statue included in base, so it's 12 inches. So yeah, the number here is wrong. It's 12 inches, that's about it. And that includes the base. So yeah, it's not 17. 17 is the one that we're gonna see in just a moment. But here, so that was a typo. But yeah, the only difference with the other one is the light up feature on the smoking effect, which is kind of cool. I think they're both cool. But the light up feature, adds an extra thing. And only you're paying right now $10 more just to have the same thing, just with a light up feature. So in my opinion, that is cool. Light up features are cool when they're done right. I don't see a problem with it. The regular looks fine to me. Just don't have it. I think it's the same type of resin. But if you want something extra to add a little more value to the collectible, then definitely go for the light up feature. And it's gonna look fine in the dark too with the light up features. I like when the light up features on some statues, how it make them look very nice, and they shine more. Now the ultimate version, the definitive edition, is $374. So you're looking at $100 difference there, $110. But it's because this one comes with the whole shebang, comes with a whole base, which adds to the height, and this is the one that technically is 17 inches right there, 17 painted resin statue. Because of the columns on the back, it's going to be that tall, but it's the same size. Now also it's higher because the base is different. It goes a little higher, has a little more of a height. Some people don't like that height. They say, well, why so much and you're charging so much for that? You know, I think sometimes people love to complain about a lot of things. It just fine. There's some changes even in the way the base is, the way set up with the smoking effect to accommodate this base. There's Slido feature even on this things and this, you know, candles here. The entrance to this room is there with those columns. It's a very nice. Now I can see that they shorting the span because now the door seems like he's gonna actually touch him. So I'm sure that they, you know, the expansion is bigger than the person. It seems like a very tiny little door, but you know, the idea is there. The representation is there properly. It's not about just bringing everything to scale. It's more about doing the proper representation to make it look right. And it looks really nice with the Lladró feature. If you want to go the extra mile and have the ultimate depiction here, then definitely this is good. You can see the Lladró features with those pieces from different angles. Very nice. So this one. And just to give you an idea, there's a video here that was done on YouTube. Let's see if we can see this video. Try to get there so we can see it. And as you can see right there with, let me increase it. All right, so you don't see it there because it doesn't allow, it's not allowing me to go full screen on it. But here you can see the smoke in the base. And everything has been painted. Of course, it has to be. It always says paint the statue. Of course it's painted. I don't know. Sometimes version figures with those, oh, this is a painted statue. Of course it is. We can see it. It's painted. And with the Lladró feature right there on the base, I think it looks really fantastic. I love how clean it is on the regular one. I feel that the composition of the smoke feels better on that on the big one. It seems that it's too on the front. I like how the smoke kind of flows there. You can see it there. And then when you change it to this exclusive, you can see how the smoke effect is different. Maybe it's so small, like you can see it on this little screen, but it seems like it's more around him and almost in front of him rather than being on the side. I like it more. It looks cleaner on the other one. And I do like it the clean look that he has on the other one more than he does on this one. I think overall, as a whole, they have done a really nice job in really bringing this figure to life. And the statue has nice detail. I like the pillars. They look really fantastic with the detail. The smoke or the fire effect on those lights, it's fine. I like the detail on the base. Definitely there's a lot of inscriptions there. Very Egyptian inscriptions. Kind of cool. And this is another piece, as far as I know. Here you can see dimensions. They're giving it on this video. You can go to YouTube, by the way, and watch this video. But you can certainly go and this is definitely created or designed to be a companion to the other pieces in the collection. Here you can see the others that we have. See Dark we have talked about this in the channel before, so definitely it's going to be a set of all this, the Dark Magician and the other pieces. All these pieces are part of this whole collection they're building, and I think First Figures has been doing really nice with this depiction. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Just kind of giving you an idea with that tiny little video there. It was hard to kind of see, I guess, but you can always go to their website. You can go to Instagram. I think they have a video. They have it there, so you can watch it there if you need to. All right, so that was what they did. Now, as we are here, let me take you to Pure Arts. Pure Arts, this company, this Canadian company, definitely do amazing stuff. I wish I could talk more about Pure Arts more often. Haven't really had the opportunity to talk much about them, but I do like what they do, and I enjoy it. They released this League of Legends, Jinx and V. I do like this depiction. I love Arcane. I don't play League of Legends, but I love Arcane. The TV show it's on Netflix, and I'm hoping for the next season to come soon. I think it's gonna come sometime this year, hopefully. But I do love that. Is a fantastic show, and these two characters are the main protagonists there. And now this 1/6 scale statue kind of goes with the design of the Arcane show, but also with the, you know, it's somewhere in between the games and the show. It's really good. Now you can order these pieces here, and there's other League of Legends statues that have been produced also. Fantastic. You have this Arcane powder, which is actually you know, Jinx. When she was young, and of course V, as you can see there, that is a nice one. You got this League of Legends Kaisa, so they were doing amazing. Pure Arts does amazing work, and I think that they deserve more recognition for what they do. That there's two ways that you can get these pieces. You can get it as the bundle to display them together, or you can buy them separately. But I think they're meant to work together, so definitely you're gonna go for the bundle. If you only care for one character, then go for one. Now looking at the characters here, this is, let's say if you go for V, you can order this through Spec Fiction, by the way. And I think there might be also a Sideshow available. V stands for violence. This is right there. I don't know if you can see any pictures. Here you can see the dimensions. It's high-end 1/6 scale statue. Let me see if we can see some details. Original V skin, highly detailed painted skull, LED light features with the gauntlets, the head stack gauntlets on the base. It's licensed by Riot Games, scale 1/6. It's polyresin. The price is $299, $300. Edition size is 2,500. Trying to see if there's any pictures here. Okay, so we have the pictures here. Let's just look at them. This is an idea, if you can see that. These are huge pictures, by the way. But look at that with those X-Tech gauntlets, which are her weapons. Really a very cool, very cartoony, very gamey design. More in line with the games than the TV show, the Arcane TV show. But still, if you have to watch the show, you can understand here. You understand the character. You haven't watched Arcane, you need to watch Arcane. It's a really good show for sure. But here you can see, very cool. Very nice detail. Now this smoke effect there that comes from those gauntlets when they're power. That's what you get here. Like, they look like bubbles. I'm okay with that. I'm not super crazy with them. Nice paint job on the portrait. The paint job definitely on those gauntlets, and the metallic, the texture and the colors, they were really well done by the painter. I think the painter did a fantastic job. Look at the detail there. Very nice. Very cool. Definitely pure art. I like the detail on this one. Nice base. This destruction there. They're on top of some sort of platform in battle, and then again, was created with the purpose of having this encounter. There's Lladró features. With those Lladró features look amazing, by the way. The two sisters, because they're sisters, fighting together against each other in some way. Because if you know the story, then you know exactly why. But here you can see $299. Again, you can order from other retailers. Now, if you want to go, let's go for Jinx. I would say V, I do like a lot. I do like the design with V. Jinx definitely looks crazy. That chick is crazy for sure. And the Lladró feature with the missiles, she's a weapons artist. She can create weapons with all sort of things. And she's a maniac for sure. She loves explosives. Really cool. Nice detail. Very cool. Now, the paint job on the portrait, I'm not so crazy about this one. I do like the paint job on the, but not necessarily on the way the eyes are set up. It look like I don't know, it's just something off about the face on the portrait, on the paint job on this prototype. And I'm hoping that is fixed on the final product. From some angles, it looks fine. She has those big eyes. The Lladró feature, the way they did the weapon, that is super, super cool. Very nice detail. The rest, definitely there's a nice paint job. A lot of detail, little small detail everywhere around the statue, which makes it look really cool. And again, this is the part, $299. Now, if you want to get both together and get the bundle, here you have this one. Trying to get there. It's actually a lot cheaper to buy it as a bundle than trying to buy them separate. You saving yourself like $100 there, $4.99. I think it's a really fair price. So yeah, you know, in my opinion, go for the bundle. And they all come together. Now, my point is on this bundle is that the bases come separate or they come attached? Because it seems that they are the same base. Oh, actually, no, right there. So the bases technically are separate and you attach them together and they look like they go together. They're built to be together. And that is really nice the way it is done. Look at them fighting together. Very nicely done. But once you assemble the piece, it's very, you know, it's seamless. You know, they go hand in hand together. I like that. I hate when there's sometimes with some companies, you get the pieces and they're all like, you already like attached together and there's no way to separate them. So if you want to actually change the way you display them, by all means, I think the bundle is the way to go. Here you can see all the different angles. So again, you're getting the same piece, the same two pieces, but you get it as a bundle. I think the way to go is the bundle. If you really like both, you want to display them both together, fighting each other or side by side, fighting, you know, an invisible enemy or whatever. I think this is a fantastic depiction. They're all terrific. They're great depictions. They did a fantastic job. I think the price is fair for this two statues at 1/6 scale at $500 and you get two statues. I think it's a perfect bundle. You know, by all means, it's great. Why not? Go for it. Kudos to them for doing such an amazing job. Now, let me take you now. Let me take you to Sideshow. And we're going to Sideshow because I want to talk about now that we're in this with statues and companies outside of the US, but companies are doing amazing work. I want to talk about now, move into another company that it's been in business for a long time. You know, it's been in business for, I wouldn't say a century, but I would say 75 to 80 years perhaps or more. This company, or, you know, it's been for a long time. Lladró. Lladró is a company that is based in Spain. I think it's Valencia, Spain. This company is one of the oldest producers, one of the biggest manufacturers, one of the most renowned manufacturers of porcelain in the world. They created this Batman statue based on porcelain, of course. And a lot of people have mixed feelings because of the price here. You're looking at $3,000. And I totally get it why people don't like it. I understand why people think it's crazy. Social media people were talking smack about it, of course. A lot of times people do not know much about who Lladró is or porcelain, or even a lot of young collectors. Even when I mean young, I'm meaning that they're young in age probably, or some of them are older than I, but people that haven't been collecting for a long time. And when you think about Lladró, I'm thinking about a company that has been in the business longer than any other company, whether it's Sideshow or any other, that over 3/4 of a century, or like for about 3/4 of a century, they've been in business producing some amazing looking collectible porcelain. Now, is this the ultimate depiction of Batman? It's not. It is the ultimate depiction of Batman and porcelain? Yes, it is. Because it is porcelain. How many statues of porcelain have you ever seen? The process of making porcelain statues is very different than cold cast porcelain. When we call cold cast porcelain is polystone. That is polystone. That is, it's a cold cast because it's done everything cold. Technically, they use the resin, let it harden, and of course, then you can create the pieces. The process of actual, not polyresin or cold cast porcelain, the process of doing porcelain requires heat. Pieces are also casted, molded, but they're put into an oven for 24 hours and different degrees and different parts to get the coloration they have. So technically, it's not like they're painted. Some parts here might be painted, but some of the coloration that you get in porcelain is made by the type of material that is added into the porcelain, the type of substance that's added into the porcelain, and by the heat process, how long they stay in the oven and how many degrees, things like that, they create the effect of porcelain. So it is a very meticulous process that only people who are involved in porcelain understand. It's a very lengthy process. Is one of the reasons why porcelain has always been a price position for a lot of people for generations, for hundreds of years, because not everyone can do it. And yeah, you can find cheap porcelain, but also you can find companies like Lladró who are known around the world. They have a lot of boutiques around the world, big cities where you can find, and that is more like exclusive collectible item. So yes, I'm not saying with this that I would pay $3,000 for this Batman thinking that this is the ultimate depiction of Batman. It's just a porcelain statue that is based on the height. It could be around 1/5 scale, which even makes it even more impressive just because of the size. It's 17 inches tall. Again, fully made out of porcelain. Definitely looks really cool. There's some really nice detail in some way. Some parts I'm sure were painted. It looks good for porcelain. You're not gonna compare this, of course. You know, people want to make comparisons of the prices of you do with Prime One Studio. Those are different materials. You know, the process of doing the work for porcelain is more an artisan type of work. It's artisan work in comparison to a most mass-produced type of piece that Prime One does, where you have factories where people are assembling pieces. They kind of the same process, but the process of doing porcelain, it requires more time because you're technically baking the piece to get to the place where it needs to be. So I will tell you one thing. Again, I'm not denying that it's expensive, but at the same time, keep in mind that Lladró is a company that's been in business for a long time, and there's a fan base out there around the world. Spanish people take a lot of pride of Lladró as a company because it's a company that has been for a very long time representing them in one of the most oldest arts in the world. That definitely is there. Like when you're looking at pewter, when you're looking at porcelain, you're looking at some of the oldest ways to create depictions of things, or you know, to create figurines. It's an art in itself, and you got to respect it for that. Whether you agree with it, whether you think it's worth the amount or not, it is just a matter of personal choice. Some people have the means for this. Some people care about Lladró enough to pay that much money. And I'm sure some people with enough money out there will pay for this. You know, it is definitely not for the poor people like me. This is for the ultra rich that have enough money. Some people would think that they have no common sense. At the end of the day, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And some pieces, they retain value just because of what they are. You know, like some pieces like this will retain value among certain collectors because it's what it is. You know, and I will tell you, in a market where I've seen so many collectibles lose value over time, porcelain is one of those that just because it is porcelain, just because who created it, just because the company that created it can retain value a lot more for generations. So it's cool. I ain't gonna hate it for what it is. You know, I'm not going to say that I love it, but I'm not going to hate it because, to be honest with you, there's really not much to hate about it. You know, it's just what it is. You know, if you not for everyone. You know, you cannot say or try to think or trying to say, well, Lladró, you need to think better, making decisions about it. They're not losing any money about it. You know, I'm telling you, Lladró makes money. And just to give you that, Eva Cuerva is the sculptor. They do have their own artists in Spain. When you look at Lladró, for example, porcelain, I would recommend you to look at some videos or look about Lladró, the history of Lladró. This is Lladró website in the United States. They have their own version. They also produce amazing looking art made out of porcelain that is very unique, very artisan, that it costs a lot of money. Like this one, for example, look at this, the best gift from mom. This is a statue or a porcelain. Look at the prices that they do for these figurines. So when you look at these prices of these small figurines, look at these figurines. These are not that big. Look at $400. These are definitely collectible items in the porcelain market. Some are extremely expensive, like this one, Night Approaches Woman Figurine Limited Edition, $3,600. When people think, oh, people are paying, yeah, people are paying this money. For a company to survive almost 80 years or more than 80 years, I'm telling you, it's because there is a market. And this is just the American website. This is not even the Spanish website. But this company, you'll find it on some of the most exclusive, even in stores or even some center malls or boutique centers or whatever. You'll find some of them. There is a market out there. People love them. You can, even the small figurines, like small tiny, like a $200 for a small figurine. So yeah, they're not cheap. But yeah, that's what they do. You know, they try to cater to different markets and they come up with this. The new in is this new. Look at this one. Look at this one. This is a pretty one too. But when you look at all this different art created by different artists, they do have a lot of artists that they promote and they work with. It's just amazing design. This is what Lladró is, and they want to continue on. That Stormtrooper there is fine too. Again, not for everyone, but definitely there is a market for porcelain, and there is collectors out there that are willing to pay the price. or something like this. And kudos to them for doing that. It is their money, it is their choices, it is their collection, it's not mine. So it doesn't bother me. Some people pay $3,000 for this Batman. So be it. All right, my friends. So let me move now. And I'm gonna go here to the next thing. We move from Lladró. I don't know if it's here. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, right there. Beast Kingdom released this Batman modern suit, which looks really, really cool. Look at this one, Beast Kingdom. Now, this is a statue that it's not expensive. Now, when you're looking at the comparison to that, Beast Kingdom sells a lot of cheap looking statues. You know, I will tell you this, and a lot of cheap stuff too. They do sell some really cool looking stuff, but some stuff is more on the cheaper side. Now, the scale of this one, I would say perhaps could be between 1/5 to 1/4 scale, perhaps somewhere in between is more like a 1/5. I was looking at the details with this Batman statue. A lot of people seem to like it. Just the price is, I think, excellent. It's made out of, it says fabric and polyresin. The cape is made out of fabric. The polyresin, I'm thinking it's all polyresin, but when I'm looking at that, I think what is polyresin itself is the base, and it doesn't say that there, but the material of the statue, I would be more inclined to think that is more of a PVC, because I think that's where the price point is. Sometimes in the description they don't give you the full description, but I would more inclined for that to be that instead of just fully polystone. Why do I say that? Because I was looking at the description there, and I was looking Entertainment Brands brand takes curious collector back to the movie with the release of high collectible Mastercraft statue of Michael Keaton's version of Batman from DC Multiverse movie The Flash. Again, this is based on the Flash movie more than the original 1989 film. The cape made out of fabric material and the sculpting and coloring elevate the design. The Batman mask accurately replicates the facial wrinkles and features of a now older Bruce Wayne, increasing the overall realism of the statue. This globally limited edition of 3,000 pieces, another reason why it's cheaper, because there's a lot of numbers. For fans to revisit the once-in-a-lifetime movie event with arguably one of the most iconic Batman movies characters of all time. Takes home your limited master edition, blah, 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 blah. Now, the thing that gets me here... Okay, so this is based on the new film. Cool. Now, I was looking at Spec Fiction. I know, and that's what got me in the price point, and this is what I have to say, because I feel sometimes people go for one thing thinking, oh, it's all polystone. That is cool. Here, let me see if I see it here. I don't see it here, but I saw it somewhere that it's mold injected. That's what I read somewhere. Let me see if we can see it. Beast Kingdom Batman. Right there. I'm gonna go here to this. I don't think this is the one, but I'm gonna look at Beast Kingdom here for a moment. This is their website. Right there. I want to see something here on the details. Beast Kingdom, Mastercraft from DC Multiverse movie. The Flash appeared in the more modern battle suit. A pace on master. Okay, so we got that. Details. Highly detailed recreation. Manual injection molding with professional graded paint. When they talk about manual injection molding, it means that it is more of a PVC that has been injected, or they inject something in there to give it weight. That is the difference there. So when they talking about, oh, it's polyresin, the base may be polyresin, what makes it heavier, but the piece itself has been injected, as many PVC statues are, with things to make it make heavier. So it has been injected. The mold, they create like a shelf of a mold, and then inject things in there. They do that with a lot of injection molds. Are used technically for a lot of purposes, for things like Legos and things like that. So it's definitely something that is very used in the toy industry. So yeah, it says polyresin. But I think some of that might not be the type of polyresin we're thinking of. It could be even polyresin in some way, but it's been injected with something else to make it look heavier. So maybe that's where they're reducing costs. In any case, coming to this, it's kind of cool. Of course, he looks older. I prefer the 1989 film look over this one. I don't want to really see an old beat up Batman, in my opinion. And definitely his face with the wrinkles, like, yeah, it feels like a better time. Some people might go for it crazy. It does look right. But even the pose doesn't look as great, in my opinion. It's fine for what it is. Definitely on the 1/5 scale by looking at it. Although Michael Keaton is not a tall guy, so it's not necessarily... maybe it was a quarter scale on him because he's that short, you know. He's not that tall, so who knows, you know. It's a couple of things that I was kind of that. Of course, I'm sure that to get to this price, they gotta cut some corners. They painted something. It's more of a PVC, in my opinion, that has been injected with something in there to give her some weight, and the polished resin, that the reference is just for the base, and this is nothing new. Based on what other products Beast Kingdom has done in the past, a lot of that stuff is that the base is made out of something heavier, and then the piece is made out of something lighter. So just keep that in mind, just for reference. All right, so this is what we got for Beast Kingdom. And while we're here at Sideshow, now that we're here at Sideshow, let's go to the next piece. And we're looking at Star Wars, of course. This is Star Wars week. So a lot of things were revealed this week. We got the reveals of the upcoming statues from Sideshow. Of course, we got Obi-Wan Kenobi, Midas, the quarter scale statue. We're looking forward. I think it's a fantastic depiction. Some people are, of course, exasperated that now they're moving from 1/5 to... Midas is moving from 1/5 to quarter scale. I think it's fantastic. I think the mythos, the whole concept of the mythos was to create things that are not necessarily based on the movies, but it's more of rethinking or reimagining of some events of personas and different poses. And that's what they've been doing. And I think there's a fantastic depiction. The two portraits are fantastic. It has an older portrait. The alternate portrait has a little more younger, but also with white hair. I think it's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the full reveal of this one. I think it looks great, and people are really happy with this depiction, in my opinion. I think it looks fantastic. That is great. Also, we have the Captain Rex premium format figure that is coming with this action pose. I will tell you, this also looks fantastic. I think it looks great. As an action pose, they're going for the more in a scene where he is technically in the sky. You know, he has a backpack, things like that. I think it's different, and I'm welcoming this. I want to see. Hopefully, it comes with interchangeable parts. We'll see. We'll find out more when the time comes for that other premium format. But the one that was released this week is Mace Windu. Of course, here you see L. Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson, and some people have mixed emotions about the portrait. I definitely can see Samuel L. Jackson. So people say, well, that doesn't look like Samuel L. Jackson at all. It's not 100% Samuel L. Jackson. Nothing is. But I think it's really close. And you cannot deny that they tried to go for it. And in my opinion, it doesn't look bad. The lightsaber looks fantastic, in my opinion. I think they did a really nice job. Now, for some angles, he looked a little more bloated. He looks like the cousin of Samuel L. Jackson. And I get what people are saying. But I can certainly see the character. And it looks good from certain angles. Like this one, particularly this one right here. That is definitely really, really cool. With that guy there in the background. He looks like a big fella. But Samuel L. Jackson looks small. Like a little child right next to him. Looks really cool. I like the tailoring that they did with this one for sure. Very cool. The base. It does have a little bit of that, you know, the Force perspective. I'm okay at this point with the Force perspective. I think Sash's been using that for a while in a lot of the statues, and that's fine. Just to give a little bit of character to the statue. I do. It looks good. You know, I do like it from. This is particular. This is the angle that I feel that it feels the most as the actor. It looks great, and the lighter feature on that I think is also great. I think from angles, it looks more like the actor. From others, he looks different. I think it's just the perspective. But they did a really nice job. Again, Sideshow continues to impress with the statues. There's, of course, the wires and the cape. Something that you get to see. I do like the base again. Very nice detail. Very, very, very well done, in my opinion. Force perspective. That is a nice statue. And I think for a character that hasn't been done, because I remember it hasn't been done. I don't think it has been done. And now quite a scale, of course. If it has been done, it has been in an even smaller scale. I think it's a welcome addition. Now, this is Will Harbottle, phenomenal sculptor as always. He does amazing work. Aaron McNaught is also a sculptor here. I don't know. I'm guessing that Will did the body and the Aaron McNaught did other parts, maybe the base, other parts of the sculpt. You have Ian McDonald as designer, Rachel Rubisek designing, Bernardo Esquivel as always, fantastic painter. He does amazing work. Casey Love also did the paint. Casey Love is no longer working with Sideshow. So I'm guessing this is some of the final projects that he did with the company. Tim Hansen, custom fabricator, the Sideshow design and development team. So I do like it. I will tell you, it looks really, really cool. They did a fantastic job with this one once again. So kudos to them for doing a fantastic job with this particular piece. So kudos to them for doing an amazing job. Now, let me take you now to spec fiction. And the reason why we come into spec fiction is because I want to cover another statue that was released this week. And this is for Perfect World. This is Piji Studio, another fantastic company. Perfect World, this novel, the serialized digital novel, the Chinese lore. It's a video game too. So MMORPG, so it's a massive multiplayer online RPG role-playing game. And this is one of the characters there, Shen is one of the characters there. PG does amazing work. The price for this one is $109. Edition size only $388. PG does amazing work. When it comes about female sculpts, they are fascinating. And this statue is so fascinating and so much detail. This is like Divine Willow or something like that. That is called the whole thing. It's just amazing. And now looking at those plants in the back, I don't know if they're plastic or what, or they're sculpted or what, but the whole detail of this, it was Divinity Willow or something like that. I think that's what it's called. It looks great. Nice detail. That statue, it's so fascinating. The skin looks so realistic. A beautiful depiction of a woman, of this character. Beautiful jade colors. Very nicely done. PG, again, PG is a company that does amazing work. And every time they do this type of work, I think they shine very, very much. And I'm not sure if there's Lladró features there, but the detail, what they do with the greens there and the translucent colors, that is just a mastery. It's mastery of here at play. They're doing such a phenomenal depiction in this piece that looks really, really fascinating. Very nicely done by PG. PG Studio always fascinates me as a company. They do amazing work. Always impressive what they do. For those, and I talk about it in the past several times, their female characters, their female statues are always amazing. And that is where they shine the most, in the female characters. And that is what they do, and that's what they do best. So yeah, PG did a fantastic job on this one. Twitter, kudos to them for doing another fantastic job. All right, we are now, I'm gonna take a final break. Now, we already covered some good amount. I'm coming back. We still got, I want to talk about Blitzway. I want to talk about Tweeterhead. And finally, I want to talk about JND Studios. So we got 3 more companies to go. They have some big releases this week, so I want to cover them today and see exactly what's going on. So I want to say thank you once again, guys, for watching the video. Please do not forget to leave a like, leave a comment, let me know you're watching. Let me know what you think about the pieces that we're covering today. Also, follow me on social media, all of that, you know the links. So I'll be right back in just a moment, so bear with me. Again, thank you for your support.
I know I've broken promises. I'm way too good at keeping you from getting in. I've seen exactly how this ends. I never get too close, afraid to lose again. 'Cause I'm thinking back to 17, when I was young and so naive, falling into love like such a fool. Yeah, I was dumb, but she was me. It broke my trust, and honestly, I never wanna feel that hurt again. I'm so done breaking down my walls for someone to break me till I fall apart. Loneliness is not that hard. And I'm over, waiting for a sense of closure, trying to cover up these scars, won't fix another broken heart. And I'm over, waiting for a sense of closure, trying to cover up these scars, won't fix another broken heart, Can't help but wonder if it's me. You say I'm too closed off, but maybe we're not meant to be. And I'm afraid of who I've been. The weight of those mistakes I've made won't let me let you in. 'Cause I'm thinking back to 23, when I was drunk, and so was she. Said the words, I love you, for the first time. We fell so fast, we couldn't see. Our story was a tragedy. I never wanna feel that hurt again. I'm so done breaking down my walls for someone to break me till I fall apart. Loneliness is not that hard. And I'm over, waiting for a sense of closure, trying to cover up these scars, won't fix another broken heart. And I'm over, waiting for a sense of closure, trying to cover up these scars, won't fix another broken heart.
A broken glass while I'm thinking in my head. I mind my own, I don't even break a sweat. Oh, this madness is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's sad to hear the lights under the street lights, under the street lights. I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes.
All right, we are back. Thank you everyone for giving me that time. That was our final break of the night. We don't have much to go, which is great. So we still got some way to go. Again, as I mentioned earlier, happy May the 4th, even though there's a day after. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy weekend to anyone, anywhere around the world. Thank you very much for your support. Whether you're watching here in North America and Latin America and Brazil. I have a lot of people who watch from Brazil. Thank you very much. From Argentina, Europe, a lot of friends from Europe. Whether you're in Asia, thank you very much. Whether you are in Europe, anywhere, Europe, in Africa, Oceania, anywhere. Thank you very much for your support in this channel. Now we have 3 more companies. We're gonna start with we have Blitzway, Tweeterhead, and we got JND Studios. So let's go to it. Let's not waste any time. It's been a very quiet Sunday. I guess everybody's busy doing other things, but I appreciate that you actually support this. Let me know in the comments that you're watching. Please let me know that you know what's your opinion about the things. I like to hear your voice. To all my friends. And again, this is going to be recorded. People can come back, leave comments later in the future. All right, so let's go back here. And I want to take you to, again, we're on Blitzway, on Spec Fiction, because I want to talk about Blitzway. And here we have Al Pacino, or Scarface. There's 2 different versions that were released. There's a standard version, a rooted hair. You can also go to Blitzway website. You can look there, this Korean company. I've already come here. You can see the stuff they have. So let's look first at the rooted hair. And this is the most premium of the 2. It's $1,000 quarter scale. It looks, in my opinion, looks great. Tony Montana looks great right there. I was recently in South Beach, Florida with my wife celebrating our 20th anniversary. And the car was there. At least at the hotel where they film everything. Of course, you had the vehicle there. They have a vehicle there, and there's a mannequin of Scarface there, or in this case, the guy. It looks very cheap mannequin on the car, but people were taking pictures. A lot of people just go for the pictures. So we were there. It's such an iconic thing. The film came out 1983, became an instant classic. People love it. You know, of course, Al Pacino there acting like a Cuban when actually acting more like he is an Italian. You know, of course, he's an Italian, Italian American. Brian De Palma was the director. Oliver Stone, of course, was the script writer. But it has become such an icon. And I think Blitzway, as always, does amazing work. And they did a fantastic job on the depiction here, on the likeness. This is the one with the rooted hair. Looks fantastic, by the way, with the rooted hair. Here, of course, they doing this as in the kind of like a mash with the actual, you know, poster. Kind of cool. It's a very nice depiction. And this is definitely for those who are fans of, you know, of they are fans of the movie, of course. This is definitely for them, but it looks so fascinating. They did such a fantastic job. The hair looks on point. He looks on point. The tailoring on that suit looks amazing for sure. Very nice depiction. I think for the price, you know, when you look at other companies, they're asking for a lot more money. When you're looking even at, yeah, they're asking for $3,000 for a porcelain statue. When you come at this company and look at what they produce, definitely, I can see why people say, well, why so much, you know, when you try to compare. But in many ways, people are comparing apples to oranges. However, within the realm of anything that has to do more like likeness, kind of a bit of a silicone style, even though I think this is polystone and it's sculpted, they are doing an amazing work. And Blitzway has come, they're moving from before they used to do the PVC portraits for likeness. Now they're moving into likeness with sculpting. Like their resin statues are coming out so lifelike that it's amazing. Here is the base. The base, you know, represents what they're doing there. It is my least favorite aspect of this statue is the design of the base, the style. I understand what they're trying to do. The rail looks a bit small, of course. It's again, it's the force perspective that you see it. Still, you know, interesting concept. I just wish the marble was a different color, or the depiction of marble was different. Here's the hands. This person has, like, they can see long, big hands. Very nice tailoring. Even the belt looks good. The belt buckle, the ring, and the handgun with the silencer, the shoes, the carpet, the red carpet, the title there, Scarface. Very nice. They did a fantastic job with this one. Rooted hair, and $900,000. I think it's a fair price. It is well done. Now, if you want just the standard version, which is has the sculpted hair, you wouldn't go wrong. For $500, you get a really nice depiction. Very nice depiction of Scarface for sure. They definitely killed it. And I'm guessing that we will see a variant version with the white suit at some point. I wouldn't mind it. Knowing Blitzway, they will come up with a different version. But that, it looks really, really well done. Very nice suit, by the way. Classic. And even that, the real hair looks amazing. But this one, just with the sculpted hair, there's no denying that this is the same. They both look amazing. The real hair actually looks even better. But can people tell the difference at this point? It's hard. It's such a well done job. They're really fascinating job they did here with this one. Very cool looking. Again, very nicely done. That's a Beretta, by the way. Handgun. I think it's a 9mm. That's what it looks like. It could be a 380. But that looks good. Very nice. Actually, it could be a Smith & Wesson. Who knows? But it looks more like a Beretta. But in any case, it's made out of polyresin. Resin has metal parts. It's polystone, ABS. Has fabric, of course, the custom. Everything else comes there. I'm trying to see some of the other things. Any other details there? It doesn't say. Boasting luxurious elements like golden railing and a red carpet. Collectors are reminded of the film lavish backdrop. Also from Blitzway's their Scarface rooted hair, water scale statue. So yeah, it's really cool. I would say they did a really nice job with this one. Price is excellent. You cannot go wrong with what Blitzway is doing. It's made out of polyresin, polystone. Some parts it says ABS. So I'm trying to think what parts would that be ABS. Is that the portrait is still ABS? Or they're doing something different as they done before? You don't know really. I wouldn't be able to tell. But I would say Blitzway did a really nice job with this one. They look fantastic. All right, my friends. So we're moving on now. We're going into the 1/3 scale route. And for that, I'm going to take you to Tweeterhead. Because I want to talk about I would say one of my favorite things, the releases of this week. And it's taking me to the wrong thing again. I think it populates some of the stuff, popular searches or whatever. And for some reason, it always takes me to Hordak. But here, Tweeterhead, at the website, they have this. It's not a Sideshow yet, so I'm not sure why not, but maybe at some point. This Doomsday bus looks amazing. It looks great. If you follow Batman Statue Collector, he on the gallery, on the Rose Gallery, as he called his group of guys, they were there. They were, they presented this very nice presentation. Of course, Chad was there answering questions. They also have other releases. I'm gonna look at some other stuff there. Matter of fact, let's look at some of that before we get into Doomsday. Let me drink some water first. There were a couple of things that were revealed there. So let me take you there. Let me take you to, for example, we're looking at Instagram. Tweeterhead. Couple of things, of course, starting with Instagram. Tweeterhead, you look at the stuff they have. These are the showcase of things that we saw there. Of course, they are inspiring this. Looking at the Doomsday, talking about Doomsday. They inspiring it, of course, on the art. They're talking about Dan Jurgens because he designed the concept. But when you're looking at the people here, for example, in this cover, that is actually, they're talking about Dan Jurgens' design, but this is actually John Bogdanov. It says it right there. John Bogdanov, he is the artist on this one. But, when you're looking about that era of, and I'm going to read it, introduced him by Dan Jurgens in 1992, gained notoriety for his pivotal role in the Death of Superman saga, where he succeeded in defeating the Man of Steel, engineered as a virtually unstoppable force. Doomsday continuously evolves and adapts, making him a recurring menace not only to Superman, but the entire DC universe. Despite numerous apparent defeats, he has a knack for returning, even more formidable than before. Alongside his iconic debut, he has featured prominently in storylines such as The Return of Superman and Infinity Crisis, solidifying his status as one of the Superman's deadliest adversaries. So here you can see that cover is by John Bogdanov. Sorry. I gotta here look at this. That is by Dan Jurgens. So that's Dan Jurgens right there. He's the one that actually designed the concept. I'm gonna take you to actually to Facebook. Trying to see here. Of course, they're promoting it, so you see all these pictures are coming. We're gonna look at that in a moment, but I wanna, before I get into it, because definitely on that, the Atlas Rogue, they showcase that they're doing other things besides what you see here, besides the stuff that we're seeing here with that. I'm gonna take you to what is this? The Tweeterheads group, one of the Tweeterhead groups. I think the official one, because there's two. That the statue collectors group and the official Twitter collectors group. There are two different groups. This is actually one that is administered by the Batman statue collector. He created this group. He normally creates a lot of groups for different things, so he can kind of like does a little bit of his own thing. Oh, okay. So I'm not allowed because I'm not the member there, but I'm a member as a person. So he creates this type of group so he can actually promote his own channel. That's pretty much what he does. Don't hate on that. That's just the way he does things. So he created this group, which was the original group that started before. Here you can see things that were presented there. Of course, we saw the Batman statue. That's something that is going to be part of this line. Very cool. He also, you know, there was this presentation of this the upcoming statues. Or in the one there, of course, we have Clayface. We have oh, I just have a it just blanked my mind, you know, like for some reason I lost it. The Riddler, and of course we got Satana, a little more of a 80s kind of 90s Satana. We have Catwoman, which it goes for the more classic Catwoman. I think that's a classic Satana too. And there you can see more of a Clayface. Satana looks amazing. Of course, this is just a rendering. It will differ, I guess, when they actually do this sculpt. These are actually, Clayface has more of a rendering. It's more like the art design, the concept. As you can see, the Riddler is more of that rendering sculpt. That looks fascinating. And of course, there's some people upset or saying, why is it that they cannot come up with statues instead of doing this buzz? I think there's a market for everything. The license, they cannot produce this in quite a scale, first and foremost, because they don't have the license for quite a scale DC stuff in the United States or around the world. 1/3 bus, it's something that fits into what they're doing. They cannot necessarily do the 1/3 because perhaps at this point Prime One Studio has the license for 1/3 scale fully statues. So, you know, you have to keep in mind, you have to work with what you have. This is what they have. This is what they can do. By all means, you know, they're gonna continue with the 1/6 scale collectible statues. I'm sure they will. But it seems that, you know, they're also going for a market that is different. It seems that there are a lot of people who love the 1/3 scale. It seems it has become very, very popular. So they're going for that. This is another one that will showcase this. This is a more finished design of Catwoman that was presented early on. So here they have these concepts, of course. It's very, very interesting. This is the group that they have. Here you can see he holding this Batman. Looks great. It looks very good. I think it fits in with what they're trying to achieve here. And I see right there, group of Chris Michael, the Batman statue collector. That's the group he created. But trying to see this here. Just bear with me while I'm doing all this. Here you can see this is the other group. This is the official. Trying to make sure everything is done correctly. Here is the official Tweeterhead Collectors Group. This is the one that was created by the company. It has less members, but this is what you get when you're looking at the company directly and they're doing this stuff. Matt Weasel, his administrator, he's also works for the company. Matt Weasel has worked for many different companies in the past, but now, of course, Matt is doing the pretty much managing their social media, a lot of things, different aspects of the company. But here you can see he's showing the same pictures that we've seen before. This is photo of all the three together with the Superman, which by the way is fantastic. They still have it, so if you want it, this is a good time to have it, I guess. But also they have the Doomsday. Keep that in mind. Doomsday looks really, really well done. And right now, that he's massive. That's the part. How massive this piece is in comparison to the other guys. So that brings me back to Doomsday. Of course, now you can see a picture comparison. We'll look at here at Tweeterhead. Sorry, at the Instagram. Here on the Instagram, look at this picture right next to Superman. It's such a fascinating depiction of. It's so well done. It really brings the Dan Jurgens design. You know, when you're looking at the four artists that they did the work during this era within the Dead Superman, again, it was Dan Jurgens, you got John Bogdanoff, you got Jackson Guys, and you also have Tom Grummett. My favorite there, I would say, was Tom Grummett. I love the way he depicted. His art is so amazing. I think that, and that was my favorite art, but definitely the other guys are all, people remember Dan Jurgens the most, but they all did their part. And some of those elements that they produce are fantastic. Dan Jurgens, of course, did some of the big heavy bulk. Here you can see a close-up. This is on the prototype. He was talking in the Batman statue, and I didn't watch the whole video with the Batman statue collector Rogues Gallery. I don't really watch his channel much. Oh, I don't have the time to watch it all because, you know, I'm busy all the time. But I did watch some excerpts. And I will tell you, the chat was saying that this is going to be around, it's going to weigh, this is light because it's a prototype, so it's normally lighter. But they're estimating that it's going to weigh around 20 pounds, which is really heavy for a, you know, for a bus or for a statue. So it's going to have some weight and health. They think that it's going to be maybe a reduction of the size of a 2% or 3%. And that is always happening in casting. When they have to cast this, they have to create a mold out of this, cast it, create the mold, create that. With that, they create another one. And of course, with everything, the pieces expand and they close and they you know, they settle. When they create the new pieces, it might be a bit of a reduction in size. That's what the estimation. Back in the day, it used to be that the pieces were bigger than the original prototype. Now it's different the way they cast things. But in any case, it's not gonna be as visible as some people are saying. There's not going to be a huge reduction, so people were thinking that the reduction would be too much. It's not. It's a very minimal reduction. It's hard to notice, but it's there. I think it looks fantastic. The painter did a fantastic job of detail. The hair looks a bit too long in the back. I think it would be nice, more of a smaller hair. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I have the Iron Studios version with me, which is a very small version. Looks really good. I need to review it, but this is such a close thing. It looks so fascinating. Did a really nice job with it. Here are the other pictures, the close-ups right there. Here you can see Chris holding it. Very cool. So we already saw this. So now let me take you now to the website. Here's $400. I think it's a fantastic price. And I would say Twitter sells stuff. It's only 350 pieces. It does sell the stuff for really nice prices. And when you look at this statue, let's see if we can open it. The pictures here, I think it's always here on the corner. Right there. It's such a huge piece. Nice detail. So well executed. It looks so good. Really looks great. I think there's been so many depictions of Doomsday over the years. They're fantastic ones from XM Studios, and the one we have seen the ones, of course, from Prime One Studio, which is also fascinating one. Sideshow Collectibles, I have done it. We have seen, of course, the Iron Studios depiction on you know, they have done 110, 16. So it's been a good amount of depictions of Doomsday. In my opinion, this is the one that I like the most. You know, and yeah, some people will say, why is this not a full statue? Even as a bust, looks amazing. They did a really nice job in depicting in a very nice, you know, it showcases the spirit of Doomsday. He's a destructor. He's a killing machine. He's non-stop. That's all. He's all for the kill. And it just looks amazing. And that Superman looks amazing. Of course, I think this is based on the same art of my, you know, the Superman that they created, the 1/6 scale Superman with Barbiero, Guillermo. He did that one. I think it's the same sculpt. This is a different sculptor, different artist. But looking at the paint, the tongue, the eyes, such a fascinating job on this one. Look at the detail on the paint job and all that. The different you know, shades of green and gray, and it's just, oh, it's just so good. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. And the bone growth is something that happens on Doomsday every time he gets, when he was killed, every time he was just killed, he was came back to life, cloned back again over and over and over, brought to life, and learned from his mistakes. You know, he became stronger. More bone density was growing on him, things like that. You have to know more about the story, but yeah, it's kind of cool. It's limited edition, as you can see. 450 pieces. I'm telling you, they're gonna sell quick. Here on the details, additional information, let's give some honor to the artists involved. Without a poly resin, we know that the height 21 inches, the box size, this says weigh 10 pounds, although he was saying that it will be more like close to 20 pounds. I think maybe he was referring also to the box itself when he was talking about 20 pounds. The artist is Matt Weasel. He's a designer. Tiago Senovini, he's the designer and the sculptor. Joe Napkill is the sculptor. Scott Zellner is the painter. Liz Maggie, also the painter. So they did a really nice job. Now, to give you an idea about the artists that we're looking at, when you look at Dan Jurgens, Doomsday. You know, people always think about Dan Jurgens the most because definitely he was very iconic in his depiction. Here you can see this Superman, or this depiction, this poster. Here you can see, definitely you can see that the art was really well respected. Although I was thinking about the hair, looked like he has more like a little strands of hair instead of just having like a big, you know, like big, a lot of hair as is in the statue. But it's not a major thing. It's not, as some people will put it, as super important. Now look at this one. This is another one done by Dan Jurgens. Trying to get this one done here. Not coming up. It's not coming up, so that's fine. This is from Amazon right here. Seems like the internet is a bit slow here. I'm not gonna wait, but when you look at this, looking at all the details here, the design, as you can see all the Dan Jurgens thing, everything that was designed about the character. Definitely, they did a fantastic job of replacing that. My favorite of all the artists that they were there on that era is definitely gonna be Tom Grummett. They put two Toms there, two M's. It's just one, but Tom Grummett. Always gonna love his not Superman. I love his Superman too, but I love his Doomsday. Every time I think about what he was doing, I am certainly love to see the way he portrayed these characters. And again, the internet is faltering here, but here is the Tom Grummett. Love his depiction of Superman in this battle. I think he was the one that did it the most clean way possible. Every time I think about, you know, Doomsday, I always think about Tom Grummett and the way he depicted this fella. You know, he did it in such a fantastic way. Everyone was different. John Bogdanov was different. You know, Guys was different. Each one represented the character in different ways. But each one did a really nice job in representing the character. Like this one, for example, right here. This is another by Grummett. Very nicely done. Love that depiction. They're all fantastic. They all did a fantastic job for sure. And it's one of my classic, you know, my memories of the 90s reading comics is Superman. And definitely The Dead and Return of Superman was one of my favorite chapters, you know, in the era of Superman of the 90s for sure. And just Doomsday was definitely at the epicenter of everything. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So I would say they did a fantastic job with this one today. Kudos to them. They did a really nice job. Looking forward to the other buzz that they also showcase. The teasers they gave us. We'll see what happens next and when they go out for sale or pre-orders. Looking forward to more reveals also for the 1/6 scale collection they have. We'll find out more, but that Doomsday looks amazing for sure. All right, my friends. So we're moving up from this. I want to take you now to the last piece of the night. And we're going to go to JND Studios. And the reason why we come into JND Studios, trying to get to JND Studios here. I didn't choose Facebook, but yeah, again, JND Studios right here. They release, if you are a Christopher Reeve fan of Superman, the 1/3 scale hyper real movie statue, they are releasing, or they released this Superman. And there's 2 different versions, sold out, by the way. Hopefully they show up as Spec Fiction. So keep an eye on Spec Fiction if you're still interested on these. They have 2 different sets. Unfortunately, you cannot buy them separately. They have the Superman, which is a reorder in some way. Because I think they already have the original version, and they're doing like a redo or something, or they're doing another batch or whatever. But supposedly they did a different portrait. I don't remember the whole deal. You know, I'm trying to keep up with it, but it's so much information to keep up with. But this has a redone face, and some people are still not liking it. But in my opinion, I do like it. You know, I don't see a problem with Superman here. I don't see a problem. I think the likeness is there. Yeah, people are going to complain about it. It's expensive. They say, I saw even in the notes on Instagram, people saying that JND for the price, they should be like close to, you know, it should be 100% perfect. You know, people always talk about this thing, and it always gets on me. Like, people get so fixated or so hurt or so hang on a lot of things. Like, they thinking that, you know, you have to have, if you, like somebody posted, and it was a nice response. It's like, if you wanted closer to think, then you have technically Christopher sitting at your you know, coffee table drinking some coffee with you. What else you want? You know, back from the dead? You know, like, you know how, you know, they are doing one of the closest thing. You know, there's been other depictions of that. You know, I remember the one that was done by Hot Toys as a figure, fantastic figure, still up to this day, a classic from Hot Toys. We're talking about other statues. Even Sideshow has done. A lot of companies have done depictions. I think, in my opinion, this is the closest so far to the character, to the actor. You know, better than any, even better than Blitzway. You know, it's, you know, you can say all you want. We can complain about it. We can say that they did a poor job in it. I do think that they did a really nice job with this one. And unfortunately, I cannot really open these pictures. I'm going to go to Facebook in just a moment where we can look at it. But here you can see the different depictions that were there. Also, you got the combo where you get the one with that, and a lot of people prefer the one without, you know, with the glasses. You know, the Clark Kent looks fantastic. I think Clark Kent looks fantastic. Too bad that they cannot sell it, or they're not selling it separately. If you want to have them both, you're gonna have to really chip in, and you're gonna have to pay the full price. But that is just for reference here. It was $3,600, sold out completely. It sold out in no time. You know, even though people complain, people are not going to waste time when you're looking about this type of pieces with everything is made out of silicone. The parts are just made out of, in a way they're so realistic. The eyes, you know, prosthetics, all of that. You're looking at the closest thing to the actor, the closest thing you will ever see, unless something is better on this at some point. But at this point, this is the best thing ever. Now, looking at JND Studios Facebook, here you can see the different depictions of Superman. Looking at this one, for example, here you can see, yeah, this is what really gathers some complaints, people, about the portrait. Say, oh, that doesn't look like Christopher. It looks like him. You know, there's different angles of an actor. Not everything, you know, sometimes you keep in mind that actors in television or in movies, they have a different angle. Sometimes they have the best angle that they normally use, and actors and directors seem to like that is the most likable angle of an actor. And sometimes we don't see that, the magic of the way they do certain things, that they're always going to film the actors in the angle that they look the best. And sometimes actors also have their own choices about, hey, I want you to take me from this angle. I don't like, this is my bad angle. This is my best angle. So sometimes they do that kind of thing. But when I look at it, you keep in mind, in 1978, Christopher Reeve was an unknown actor when he came out to this film. He was an unknown actor, became famous because of this. So he was skinny. He was not bulky at all. He gained some weight to be the part, but he was so skinny. So that changed on Superman 2. He was a little, had more bulk. But initially, they didn't have the bulk. I think they are representing the young Superman, the young Christopher Reeve. And I think they're doing a really nice job. The base, simple, the same as any other base that JND does. I think he looks great. The hair looks great. Here you can see some people say perfect. Y es su figure. Lo que falta es moverse y hablar. He's saying this is a perfect figure. The only thing that is missing is to walk and to talk. He's saying that in Spanish. So, you know, people will complain about these things. But to me, it's like, I don't see the reason to complain. This is the closest thing you will see for something like this. It's so good and so close to this. Now, I don't see the other depiction. Let me go to... let's see what else we can go. Let's go to Instagram JND. Maybe we can see the other. You can see the Clark Kent. Hopefully they have pictures there. If not, we're gonna have to go back to the website, try to see it, or trying to see the pictures. No, we don't see pictures here, which is saddened. We might, I think there's a limit of 10, so they don't have it here. So let's go back to JND. They don't have it as spec fiction as far as I know. Not yet. I'm sure they will have something. But let's look at JND. We're gonna go there to that special one right here. So we're gonna try to get those pictures. We'll all see how we can expand them. If we cannot, sorry for that. Yeah, it's very odd the way they have this design. I'm gonna try to give me a second here. We're gonna have to minimize them. Maybe that can help us. Too bad that the pictures look too small. All right, so here you can see. All right, so this is the picture. I think that's the only picture they have, which is kind of dumb. Okay, so we are going, I'm gonna still reduce it even more. I would recommend you to go to the website so you can see them yourself. Too bad that the pictures trying to get there. It's annoying. It's like it's there, but they're not there. All right, there. That is a very nice depiction, as you can see. That looks good. That is a very Clark Kent. And some people will be, you know, bummed out that you cannot just get that one itself, you know. But to be honest with you, they're both fascinating. They did a fantastic job with this one for sure. Two different looks, but it's the same actor for sure. And it looks really, really nice. The hat. Picture looks small. I recommend you to come to the website so you can look at the pictures best. Very nice job. Some people prefer this one over the other. I think maybe it's because of the pose they chose. This is more serious, but definitely it represents the two characters. You know, like Clark Kent has always had the more goofy, kind of like he's a bit more goofy in things that he does, or they try to represent that goofiness in some way. Very nice job though. I think, and they, of course, the newspaper, all of that, they did a fantastic job. No doubt about it. I am impressed. Going back to regular size, I'm impressed with what JND is doing. Definitely this company continues to impress. Very nice Superman. Very nicely done. No doubt about it. All right, so this was the last piece. Let me go back to this chat. Only I want to say Decoria and also Juana, thank you very much for stopping by. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water, wait a couple of seconds, and then I'm gonna just finalize this video. It seems like it was a buzz in some way, nobody even watching. But I want to say, if you watch this in the future, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for doing so. Please leave a comment. That way I know you're watching and that you're really paying attention to this channel. Please don't forget to leave a like, to leave a comment. I appreciate your support. Let me drink some water and then now. All right, now coming to the end. A fascinating live stream. We talk about collectible. We talk about everything that's to do with collectibles, from action figures of Marvel Legends all the way to 1/6 scale hot toys. We talk about statues from vinyl figures with Godzilla's figures, Godzilla statues, all the way to 1/3 like life size, hyper real JND. So there's a price range for everything. We talk about poly resin, we talk about PVC stuff, we cover what else we cover? We cover what is that? Well, silicone, of course. We also cover porcelain. So we cover a lot of things. Definitely there's a market for everything. So I saw someone posting something on Facebook today, and this is a post that happens every week. Every week I see somebody posting, whether they do it for likes or clicks, or sometimes even posting videos on YouTube saying, oh, is the statue collecting hobby dying because we're in a bad shape or whatever. When people always talk like that, I just scratch my head, because the reality is that it's not the case. Companies are selling products like never before. And I said this many times, and it seems like I never get tired of saying it. Companies are still selling products. And as long as people are buying these products, companies are going to continue selling this stuff. I don't think the collectible market is in bad shape. Yeah, they have flooded the market with products, but people are still buying. And there's always going to be a market for things. Companies are doing better art than ever before. They're taking chances, sometimes brave chances, sometimes scary chances, where we as consumers are getting the best of both worlds, in the sense that we're getting amazing art that has never been done before, and there's a room for everything. Do I consider bad that this is happening? In some way, no, because I realize that at the end of the day, you're the one that decides what to buy and what not to buy. Products are expensive regardless of what you're looking at. Whether it's action figures that that back in the day cost nothing, now they're in the $50 mark or $90 mark. Figures that cost $300, and they're tiny figures, 7-inch figures for $300, to poly resin statues or even porcelain statues costing $3,000. There's always like a market for everything, and people are collecting things. My job here on this channel, or my desire, is to share these things and give you my opinion about those things. Not to tell you buy it or don't buy it. At the end of the day, you make the choice. There's a lot of beautiful things out there. There's a lot of things that I would say not necessarily so. There are a lot of things that I would invest that much money on. At the end of the day, it's what you like, what you're a fan of, what you're willing to invest the money on, what is it that you like. And I think as a collector, you have to be well-rounded. You have to know the market. You have to know the people. You have to know what it's out there. You have to know the companies. It doesn't mean that you have to buy it. Just because you're not buying something doesn't mean that the market is crashing. Just because you don't have the money to buy it doesn't mean that the market is crashing. Just because you don't have it doesn't mean others don't. Just because you're in a financial tie, in a bind, doesn't mean that other people are not. There's always going to be a lot of people with a lot of income, with a lot of disposable income, and they're willing to pay the price for things, and that's okay, as long as they sustain the market, and we are the benefactors of that. We're the beneficiaries, because there's benefactors there. We're the beneficiaries because at the end of the day, these companies keep producing amazing stuff, and once in a while we're able to afford it. Once in a while, companies are able to price it the right way. Talking to Raphael yesterday, he was very correct in something that he said, that sometimes some projects, they bring a lot of revenue to companies, some projects don't, but you kind of have to work things out and even it out to try to maintain a balance of things. And it's true. I heard that, he said it now, but I heard it from many different producers in the past, and my podcast, and many times I asking questions. Sometimes people lose money in some projects, but the next project brings a lot of money. Ultimately, companies have to have that balance. The ones who benefit from it, the ones that doesn't have to suffer through it, is the collector in the end. All you have to do is pay for the product, and then you have something amazing that it costs a lot of sweat and tears and time and process and you know, sometimes, you know, like stress for a lot of these producers to bring to life, because they have to go through a lengthy process of approval. They have to pay everybody to get the work done. They have to deal with the factory, with the shipping, with so much cost. And all you got to do is just receive it at your table. And yeah, you pay money for it, but ultimately you didn't have to go through the whole process of bringing it to life, which is costly. Just produce costs hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for something to be produced, if not millions of dollars for some licenses to happen. So yeah, at least you're the beneficiary. You're not gonna collect everything. Enjoy for what it is. Enjoy what you have. You know, some things are not meant for you. It's all it is. Just move on. My friends, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending the time with me tonight. Again, we will have the timestamps tomorrow. If you missed anything, let me know in the comments how you think about today's video. I appreciate your time. I appreciate that you're still here with me, that you're constantly coming to visit me. I definitely enjoy the opportunity. Each one of you, you know, I know that everyone has lives to live and sometimes we're busy, but thank you very much for watching, and I wish all of you the best, and thank you for everything, you know, for your support to this channel. So my friends, take care, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Take care, my friends. Bye bye.